Hello, good morning. I think we're live. Let me refresh my YouTube. Good morning, Jess. How are you doing?
Hi. Hello. How are you? I'm good. I've been busy. I've already filmed 2 videos and done all kinds of mess. I've been busy today.
My goodness. I'm like, I
Yeah,
just had a Diet
productive.
Coke, not quite even awake yet.
I'd give my left arm for a Diet Coke right now.
Mm.
I'm
All
kidding.
right, so what are
No.
we doing today? Today we're going to watch a status conference hearing. This is for Lori's case. So there won't be anything momentous happening. There is a stay in her case, so nothing big is going to happen, but it's a status conference. So we expect to see Mark Means and Rob Wood, maybe Rachel Smith and Judge Boyce, and they're going to talk about some stuff. What that is, I'm not entirely sure. It should not be about the Melanie Gibb motion for contempt thing, because that can't really proceed while there's a stay in the case. But it could be scheduling or discovery issues or other procedural stuff like that. What do you think is going to happen today, Jess? Anything exciting?
Well, I know we're probably not going to place bets on what color of red Pryor is because he probably won't be there today, right?
Correct. Yep.
Okay. Well,
He
I
might
have
be
his
there,
stuff.
but he might not.
Is it going to be in the courtroom? Do you know? Or is
It's going to
this
be
going to be
via
like a Zoom
Zoom.
thing?
This is a Zoom thing.
Well, we get to see antlers.
We
That'll
do.
be the
We
day.
do.
We should have wore antlers today.
Yep. Also, welcome to Rotary Dial, our new channel member. So glad to have you with us.
Ooh,
And thank you to
yes.
66 Lester for the super chat earlier before we went live. Thank you very much. I
Oh, wow.
appreciate the support. So let's get caught up. Before we have this hearing today, we have a lot to talk about. I want to talk about the Lifetime movie. And there's a flurry of new filings that came up over the week. But I didn't even do videos on them because they're like, I don't know. This stuff is it's giving me a headache, Jess. I don't usually get a headache
Crazy.
from this stuff. But we have
Yeah.
the order to unseal a specific hearing so they can use it. But then there's an order to seal and another order to seal. And then there's orders unsealing the orders to seal. And I'm just like, what is going
Oh, my
on?
word.
What is happening?
I can't
Basically,
even keep up with it.
what happened was, now this is the second time that the clerk of the courthouse has done this. They published something that should not have been published. All right. Now Nate Eaton has talked about this. In one of Mark Means' motions for discovery that's happening, he attached 169 pages of discovery that was sent
That was
to.
leaked?
Yeah. Well, it wasn't leaked. The court clerk should have redacted that, or at least taken those out before they published the motion, but they did not. So 169 pages of discovery got published by accident. Nate Eaton has them, and he's sitting there saying, they're kind of juicy. Should I publish these or not? I'm like, of course not. Come on. So he didn't, but he's saying, I got them. I really want to talk about them. So that's part of what the order to seal was. And it's just, there's so much of that kind of garbage going on right now. It's annoying. It's just annoying because none of this is getting us closer to justice for the kids or Charles or Tammy.
Mm.
This is just garbage, right? And so it's at the point where I am so irritated by it, I don't even want to talk about it, and this is what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm the
Yeah.
one who says, I'll put all the motions up, I'll make videos about them so we can talk about them. I'm like, I don't want to talk about it. So I'm really frustrated.
Has anything been leaked? Did anybody else get it? I feel like I'm out of the
Nate
loop.
isn't the only one that has it. Nope.
Okay.
Because it was up on the court website.
Right.
A lot of people following this case subscribe to the Vine notifications, and like I refresh the court website 10 times a day. Sometimes, 10 every 10 minutes I'm refreshing. And as soon as something's up, boom, we hit download. We'll read it later. Download it. And then you find out, a few minutes later, oh, why did it disappear? Oh, maybe I shouldn't have that. So
Yeah.
this has
Now I'm
happened
dying to
before.
know what's in it. I'd love.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like I'm behind. Like, obviously, me and you talk about this, but I've had so much junk going on over here. I'm like, well, what's in it? There's somebody has to have leaked something. I want to
Right.
know. I want to know.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we're dealing with that constantly, because now it's like when I see something up on the court website, I download it, I read it, and I'm like, should I talk about this or not? Because, what do you do? What do you do? And so I been tending to hold things back and wait for a day. And if Justin posts it, Justin Lum, I wait for it to show up on his Twitter. I'm like, okay, he has it too. He's going public with it. It must be safe, So one of the things that happened recently, Eric Grossarth over at East Idaho News talked about the filings regarding the order of commitment, right? Where Mark Means had a motion saying he wants this, 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 and that regarding her commitment. And Rob Woods responded to that with no, 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 and no. And Eric Grossarth had this whole article about these filings. We're like, what filings? What are you talking about? Because they're not on. Yeah, they weren't on the court for like a week and a half. After, where did he get those? I'm like, what is going on?
Evelyn messaged me and she said, you go click on this link. Have they blocked me? And I'm like, Evelyn, it's the court website. I don't think they know who you are. But no, it's really not there. But that was hilarious. Like when she panics over it, but I don't have that. Where'd that come from?
Right.
It's like,
because between Justin and I, we have a race to see who can get it and put it up first. It's like a thing we do. So the fact that he had even a news report written about these court documents that I couldn't see anywhere was like, how did I miss that? So were those accidentally uploaded and then taken down immediately, or did he get them from some other source, or where did those come from? Because I didn't see them even in the Vine notifications. So I have no idea where Eric got them from, but now they are up and they are exactly as he says, of course, because Eric does some wonderful reporting. But so we're having everyone following the case and reporting on it is having a lot of trouble with the court right now because they put something up. Now, if I had gotten the documents that Eric did as soon as they were up, I would have posted them because that's kind of a really interesting back and forth.
They were fine. Yeah.
Right. And so what do you do? So I'm in a bit of a quandary.
That's happened a couple of times in other people's cases, the case of which we do not say his name. When they first released all the discovery from the Watts case, they accidentally left the link in to the actual autopsy reports, like the unredacted ones, and there were pictures in them that were out. I know a few people who said that they got them. Thank God nobody. I'm actually surprised I haven't seen those surface as nutso as people get over that case.
Yep.
But you talk about awful. I can't imagine being that family if something like that was leaked. I mean, I don't know what was in this out of discovery. I doubt it was autopsies or anything, but I can't imagine if it was a case like that and they leaked unredacted photos to the public. I think that'd be bad.
Yep. So, I'm being a little bit more careful now about what I download from the court website. Do I hold it for a few days and then, wait and see what happens? So I'm kind of doing that. That's one of the reasons I haven't made any videos on all of this latest stuff. But most of it is just like, I don't understand why there's an order to unseal a hearing, then 2 orders to seal, then an order unsealing the orders to seal. I'm like, no. I don't even care. I don't even care what that's about.
People get upset. I know this stuff happens all the time, but I think people are so invested in this case. And during COVID, we've all been locked down and watched it all play out. And I think most people just go on with their life and they don't notice like the day-to-day mundane stuff that happens. Like, this is normal. But since you don't have anything better to do than look at it, it's like, why are they wasting time and money? And what's this got to do with the kids? And I mean, I understand how people get frustrated with that, especially when they're bickering about the discovery all the time. I'm like, can y'all just have a powwow? Like, make 2 copies of everything and you put one on one table, one for you, one for me, one for you, one for me. Call it a day. They need some women in there to organize this mess.
First, I want to say thanks to Henriette Erasmus for the super chat. I really appreciate it. It's good to see you again, Henriette. All right, so the discovery, I think that's what we're going to hear a lot about today. There are a lot of discovery arguments going back and forth between both defense attorneys and the state, Rob Wood and Lindsay Blake, because with the new charges, right, the murder charges, that discovery should have been in by a certain date. The state did not ask for an extension. They just sent, well, we're going to put the discovery by July 15th. They picked their own date. They didn't ask the court if they could do that. And that's a little bit of an issue. And so Means and Pryor both filed their motions about, hey, But as we saw in the last hearing, John Pryor was like, yeah, okay, okay, Judge, whatever. I mean, I don't know what was up with John Pryor that day. He was very strange, but he said, yeah, okay, July 15th is fine. Mark Means did not make that same extension, so he was mad about that. So he filed a discovery motion with sanctions. He's asking for sanctions against the state for not following the right procedure. So,
what would that mean for somebody that wouldn't know? What would sanctions be?
I'm not even sure exactly.
You don't know. Okay.
I don't think that would be, I don't think he's going to win on that argument. Thank you, Manglia. Do I always say that right? I think I always pronounce it wrong. Manglia 44, the Fox. Yeah. She says, hey, Ewan and Jess, have coffee on me. Thank you for covering this. You're very welcome. Yeah. And thank you for being here. We appreciate you. So I think today is going to be the discovery argument back and forth. Again. But like you said, even the last hearing, I said, I don't want to hear another word about discovery. But here we are again. Like, they cannot. So who's in the right? Who's in the wrong? Are they both in the right? Are they both in the wrong? They're just arguing. I don't see why we have to fight about this. I really don't. If the state has discovery that has to be turned over to the defense, just do it. The defense has turned over discovery, but they're still asking for more things they haven't gotten yet. Why? I don't know.
Can you even imagine if they're already bickering about discovery to this length? I mean, this isn't your normal, hey, we didn't get a few pieces. Can you resend it or whatever? Can you even imagine when they start arguing about trying to get evidence thrown out? Mm-hmm. I can't even. It's going to be a nightmare, people. I'm telling you, this is not going to trial this year, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I'll be shocked.
4 more years of discovery fighting, let alone going to trial.
I really don't think we're going to see it this year or next year, in my opinion. I'll be surprised if they even get it through next year.
Yep. And now we're even at the point where we're arguing about physical hard drives. That's what we're arguing about. Because Mark Means is saying, hey, I'm not getting paid, and now I have to go buy a couple of $200 pop hard drives because the state won't give me the discovery. And okay, maybe he shouldn't have to pay out of pocket for hard drives. But at the same time, I'm just like, do we need to crowdsource some hard drives and send them to Rob Wood's office and be like, here, please put your discovery on these so we can get past this? Is that what it's going to take?
Prime Day. It was Amazon Prime Day.
Yep.
I ordered one too. Since everybody was fighting about them, I was like, well, shoot, I think I need one. So I ordered a 2 terabyte.
There you go.
Videos on. I was like, everybody needs one. Oprah needs to show up. You get a hard drive. You get a hard drive. You get a hard drive. Mm-hmm. So I ordered one too.
Yep. But yeah, Rob Wood, if you're watching, if anyone in his office is watching, if you guys need hard drives, say the word. We will get you whatever you need. You want 10, 15 terabyte hard drives, 14 terabyte, let me know. We'll get them to you so we can move on, because I want this to go forward. I want to stop. I don't care. We'll do it.
No, I can see it now. You will now see a GoFundMe go across Facebook.
Hard drives for Rob Wood. Yeah. Yep. No, not with John Pryor's face.
Oh, come on. Let's see what color red he can be today.
Yeah. But yes, as Pure Grace says in chat, John Pryor did say that he offered to give the state hard drives and they declined his offer. So I don't know what's going on. But I'm tired of hearing about those people. So I'm pretty sure that's what we're going to hear a lot about today. There's a lot of that kind of garbage going on right now between both sides, and it is incredibly irritating. However, we had some great news.
We did.
The grand jury has indicted Lori Vallow Daybell for conspiracy to commit murder in the death of Charles Vallow. Now, we knew that was coming because we knew that they recommended that. They went to the grand jury. The grand jury said, yep, there's enough evidence here where we think, this indictment is warranted. Granted, they do say a grand jury will indict a ham sandwich. That's a famous line. But there you go. That is another huge step towards justice for Charles. And that was amazing. What did you think of that news?
That's so good. I mean, you know how my brain works. Whenever I saw that she was indicted down in Maricopa County, my first thought was, oh man, she's going to get transferred down here, and her and Jody Arias are going to share a cell, and they're going to have like a karaoke off at Christmas time or something. That's where my brain went. But that's such a step in the right direction because we wondered, we hoped that we would see. She hasn't been charged. I guess I shouldn't say charges yet, but we're one step closer. That's one more person that's going to get justice, and the family has to be ecstatic about
Mm-hmm.
that in any way that they can be. I mean, nobody's happy about it, but yeah, I'm curious. I wonder who testified at the grand jury. Like, we feel like we know a lot of stuff that happened in Rexburg. Like, a lot of things got leaked, or people took photos of people in town for the grand
Well, I
jury.
mean, they published the grand jury witness list, so
Right. Yeah,
and
that
not a
too. I
big
forgot about
surprise
that.
anymore. Yeah, they have not done that in Arizona. Ann Payne, thank you for the super chat. Says, if it drags on, won't Chad run out of money? Yes, he absolutely will. Definitely.
Chad's probably already out of money.
Yep. Kat Stalsworth
Um,
says, with her super chat, thank you so much for all you ladies do. So glad we're finally seeing some movement towards justice for Charles. Absolutely. So,
yeah.
what's going to happen in Arizona? Let's talk about this for a minute. She
Okay.
has the grand jury indictment. Okay. The DA has not brought the charges to court yet, but that's going to happen. But what they seem to have said in their press release was that nothing in Arizona is going to happen as far as, her getting dragged to court there until the Idaho case is resolved. Right? Because when the DA files the charges, she has to appear. Right? She has to appear for an arraignment and all this stuff. She can't exactly do that right now, certainly because of the incompetency issue here. She's not available for that. So that's not going to happen until Idaho is finished. So we're still looking at a couple of years, probably, but it's happening. It will happen. She's not going to escape facing justice in Arizona. So that's what we need to know.
Like, if you want to see an example of how that plays out, Weinstein, that's what's happened with him. He had all the charges come from New York, and now that those cases are wrapped up, they're hitting him in California.
Right.
He was extradited last month, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's crazy. I wonder what I will see. I wonder if she'll take a plea. If she has that case, Mark Means can't represent her, correct? Because it's Arizona. She'll have to get another lawyer, won't she?
All right, wait a minute. Justin Lum just said that today's hearing was vacated. Are you serious? Are you serious?
Maybe they went outside and rock, paper, scissored it and decided, yeah, we'll share discovery. That's what they should have done a long time ago, in my opinion.
Oh, it looks like today's hearing has been postponed, according to Justin. Let me just verify that before. I don't want to end the live stream because.
No, we still got stuff we can talk about.
Yeah.
Can I tell about my two Tennessee law things while you're reading that?
Yeah, please do, because I got to go check on this. I'll be right back.
Yep, you're good. Today, y'all know I'm in Tennessee. Today is July 1st. There were a couple of new laws that went in effect today, and they are big wins in child cases. The first one is Evelyn's Law, which is named after Evelyn Boswell. You are now required to report a child missing within the first 24 hours, or you will be charged, which is a really good thing. It's sad that we live in a world where that has to be a thing, but it's a thing. So that's a big win. And the next one is called Eli's Law, and that is you are required as a parent to notify the state if you give birth to another child and your other children have been removed from your home. Now, if you have had your kids removed and are pregnant and go to the hospital and have a baby, they will catch you by running your social security number or whatever it is that they do. The hospital usually catches you and they'll call a social worker. This requires you to report it. So this should pick up home births, birth centers, any of that kind of thing. Now, whether or not people will do it, I don't know, but there will be a charge now, and it's now into law. So that's a big one, guys. That's a win today for child cases, in my opinion.
All right, I have just confirmed the hearing has been vacated today. And there's a good reason for that, a medical emergency. So it's so that's it. Don't read into that as a bad thing. Something's going on with one of the parties involved. So it is vacated for today. But then again, it wasn't going to be anything big deal-ish anyway. So all right, we'll just take a breath and see how fast they get back to court. So yeah, we're not going to have a hearing today. There you go. That just happened. that it sucks, but sometimes real life does kind of muck these things up, unfortunately. So yeah, we'll hope everyone's okay. And as soon as we know, not Lori. Lori is fine. Well, as fine as she can be in a mental hospital. That's ugh, yikes. All right, so that's what's going on there. But it is vacated for today. So what else is happening? Oh, we talked about the Charles thing. The Arizona, we're going to watch that really close. I don't think we're going to get information about the grand jury proceedings there. So we'll know who testified and all that stuff. But, it's there. It's just waiting for her to be done in Idaho. So that's exciting news. Do you want to talk about the Lifetime movie? Because we talked about that a little over on your channel. But goodness gracious.
Wasn't that a train wreck? I mean, whew, I wish. I'm telling you, I think my secret talent would be like casting some of these movies. I think I would have done a better job. I thought it was so weird. The things that they left out were really weird. The things they put in were really weird. I just thought it was a train wreck from start to finish. When we talked about it on my channel, somebody said it felt like an extended trailer because it was so choppy. And it reminds me, if you're going to have like a long-term series or like an 8-part series or something like that, it was almost like it was a trailer for that. Oh, and here's this scene, but it was too short, not enough detail, stupid detail, and then they just moved to something else. It was really disjointed, in my opinion.
Yeah, Crushes says the Lifetime movie, which she couldn't physically watch but listen to, made her cry so hard, like my soul cried. There were a couple moments while we were watching it where all of us had a collective sort of gut punch feeling. Like the scene with JJ when he was having his what they kind of showed as a typical autistic child meltdown. My son is autistic. He had those kinds of issues all the time. Very typical for a child on the spectrum. But the way they showed it was just, I wanted to leap through that screen and grab him and be like, it's okay, buddy. That hurt. I mean, we all just like went dead silent while we were watching it for a while with that, because it was gut-wrenching. And then when you think about that in context of the big story, it was 10 times as painful. It really was. And it was just bad. It was bad.
The only thing I will give them credit for is at least they didn't try to portray the actual murder act.
Yes.
I'll at least give them kudos for that. I mean, I don't know how they would have pieced that together anyway, but I got upset by the way they portrayed Tylee. Now, obviously, I don't know these people, but it seems like, and I don't think they portrayed her badly. I think they portrayed her as a typical teenager, but that made me mad because it seemed like in the show that Lori was like, oh, she's dealing with a typical teenager, and then like this was the logical conclusion to her. Right. I don't think if Tylee had been a saint, I mean an absolute saint, I think she still would have ended up the same way. It had nothing to do with Tylee, so I didn't like it. Don't show me bratty teenager.
Yep. Now, that's one point that we disagreed on. I liked the way that they showed Tylee being defiant of Lori.
Yeah.
I was like, go Tylee! I liked that. And I think Tylee, from what we've heard of from Annie and people, is that Tylee was smart. She was not a doormat, so I could see that as possibly having happened. And I liked seeing that Tylee stood up to her at some point.
I guess I don't know how to put it in words. I don't disagree with it. Like, I'm glad they put that in there. I guess I'm more reactive to the way they let Lori react to it. Like, they put that in there because that's probably what she was like to an extent. But it was like another thing on Lori's list. Like, oh, well, they're defiant teenagers, or they're hard to handle kids, or so get rid of them. But I don't think it had anything to do with the kids. I don't think it would have mattered if they were any different. I think they still would have ended up the same way, unfortunately. That's all I meant by it. But, yeah. Melanie Gibb came out shining in that one.
Yeah,
Man alive.
Two things that Crusher says in chat. First, that it was like this wound will never heal because I'm reminded by movies like this one, and this is going to be the reality from here on. That's so true. that you know that this is going to be movie after movie after movie, book after book after book for years. This case will be talked about. That it's not going to just fade and go away, unfortunately. So yeah, it's something that the family's going to have to deal with all the time, and that's really unfortunate. She also says she hated the way the movie portrayed Lori to be a victim. Now we talked about this a lot, and we were like, wow, they are totally playing up. Oh, Lori was just hoodwinked and manipulated by Chad, and Lori was just delusional, and oh, they just really played it like she was victimized by the culty group too, as opposed to her being part and parcel of it and joining in on the leadership of it.
Yep.
You know, that was really irritating. Really irritating.
No, I'd say the most irritating part of the whole dang show. They show the stupid pool party, and I still don't know who's there.
Yeah.
Nobody had name tags. I still don't know.
Yeah.
It's in a movie, and I still don't know who's there. They go so bad. I thought it was weird the way they kind of, and maybe they had to for legal reasons. I don't know. They didn't portray anything about the church. You know what I mean? Like that whole element was gone. I don't think. Yep. I think if you just clicked on this as like a Lifetime movie person, didn't know anything about the case, I don't think you would walk away with that thinking this was like a Mormon involved. I know it's a cult. Like I know there's a difference. That's not what I'm saying. But like there's no reference to it in the whole thing, like what church it is or spins off of or whatever. I thought that was weird.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, you don't have to yell at me in all caps in chat. I know the hearing was vacated. I did say that just a minute ago. Let me put a banner on the screen. But we haven't been live to talk about the case for a while, so we figured we'd catch up on everything while we are all here.
And the alien thing was weird.
Wait, what? What alien? Oh.
They kept referring to it as an alien spirit, and I'm like, what are they doing? At some point, they talked about vampires. I'm like, I'm waiting for the daggone werewolves to pop up in this movie. I don't know what they were doing. I thought it was so weird.
I think that was just their way of saying, an alien as in different spirit has inhabited a body that produced the zombie. I don't think they meant aliens as in extraterrestrials.
No, but I think we heard the word alien
enough,
more than we heard zombie. You know what I mean? I thought it was weird.
Yep.
The portal, the in the closet scene.
Yes.
I know that was probably your favorite.
Yeah, when we saw Chad and Lori in the closet and Chad explaining the portal thing, kind of like the same language that Melanie Gibb used to explain it, which is curious to me. And then later on, Lori's sitting in her closet by herself talking to Chad, right? Like he can hear her. And then she calls him on her cell phone and be like, "Why didn't you answer me in the portal?" I'm like, "Really? You can't figure that one out?" Okay. I was like, oh my God.
I would be really curious to know if the producers had a meeting with Melanie Gibb and she gave input on the show. I think that would be really interesting to know.
Yep. Yeah, I would like to know who they talked to. Where did they get their narrative from?
Julie Rowe. I figured she would go live as soon as that show was over and be like, "They left me out of this one too, guys."
Yep. There are a couple of people in chat that just asked me a question. If you look at the video and you look at the bottom of the screen, there's some text that's scrolling by with a green banner. Should answer your question. Just saying, guys. Oh, goodness. Yeah. So
in that train wreck of a show.
Yeah. So the show, I thought it was horrible. I about lost my mind at the end when they showed the recovery of the children. That was so unnecessary.
Yeah,
that was salacious. It was disgusting. They did not need to show that at all. So I was pretty unhappy with that. I was extremely unhappy with that. And we all kind of gasped out loud.
Yeah, we all did. That. I was surprised since they skipped, they didn't portray the murders, that they did portray that as much as they did. I mean, they could have just done, a shot over the top of the house with the tent set up and I mean, there were bones and all kinds of I don't even like talking about it. It's weird. It's
Yeah.
weird. I feel for the actress whoever plays Lori. I wouldn't be surprised if you hear she gets punched out in public after this one. People are going to equate her with Lori Vallow. I don't know that there would be enough money for me to portray that on TV. No.
Oh, Tora John says that Nate Eaton is on the credits as a consultant. Interestingly, that's probably he's probably a really good source because he's interviewed Melanie several times, and he's certainly been following the case closer than anyone else I know. But it's still interesting to me how they really portrayed her as sort of an innocent victim in this, which I thought was kind of gross. Yeah, the axe thing. Let's talk about the axe.
The axe thing. What's on the axe thing?
When they were showing them walking around Yellowstone, they zoomed in on a picture of a backpack Alex was wearing in the movie with like a hatchet tied to it. And I was like, oh, what are you hinting at there? I thought that was a bit much. So yeah, there was that.
They changed Melanie Pulowski's name. That we were, who the heck's Lainey? Who was this weirdo?
Yeah.
That was weird. The way they portrayed Alex, I think Alex is obviously, I don't know these people from Adam, so I ain't got a clue. In my brain, Alex is so much dopier than that guy played. Yeah, not it. Showing them taking the kids shooting and stuff, that bugged me. Well, you couldn't hit the broadside of the barn. I was like, yeah, look who's talking. I didn't like the way that they showed Charles in the house. I didn't like that.
Yep.
But at the very end of the movie, we find out Mark Means is apparently a Nephilim or something crazy.
Yeah, that was such a weird ending because they're showing us the recovery of the children, which we were all like just gut punched over, and then they cut to Lori in jail talking to some other women, literally putting on Skittles lipstick, literally, and then saying that her lawyer was the illegitimate offspring of an affair she had with an angel, and that's her blue-eyed angel boy. And I'm like, and that's how they ended it, and we were all like, I haven't heard that one before.
No.
New.
I mean, you want to talk about stuff that's in the Bible. That's technically what a Nephilim is. Yep. So I had to let Mark Means know. So I tagged him on Twitter. Love your blue eyes. Hashtag lifetime. I don't know if he saw it, but I thought it was hilarious. I just needed him to know.
Yeah.
Because I doubt he watched it. That was something. It seems so weird, the stuff that they put in and stuff that they left out, and the way they portrayed people was just, there were people that weren't in that movie that I bet at the end were like, whew, I got left out of that one too, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would not recommend. This is the worst movie I've ever watched with a group of people in my life, and I went and saw Blair Witch Project.
Yep.
People I worked with. So, would not recommend. 0 stars. Don't waste your time.
Plus, just the irresponsibility of releasing that before this has even gone to trial. Talk about tainting a jury pool. I thought that was really, really irresponsible. And it was terrible. We did watch it. Okay, now a lot of people were boycotting it, they said, and I totally get that. But I felt like as people who cover the case, we should at least see it and know what's in it, so we could talk about it. And we did a watch party. We all watched it together. It was awful. And how many more of these are we going to see before now and the end of this? Probably 100.
It was just too soon. But, I said that about the Watts movie. Even though that had already gone through court and was settled, I still thought it was too soon for them to be making a movie about that too. I don't know. They all are weird. And then I saw they were advertising the Jodi Arias movie. I'm like, I am not sitting through that train wreck either. I sat through that girl's 2 trials. Was afraid they might give her another one. I'm not going to sit through the Lifetime version of that at all.
Yep. And for people asking in chat, no, there will be no hearing today. It was just vacated a few minutes ago. So it'll probably be rescheduled, or maybe they don't need to have this because it wasn't going to be anything important anyway. This was a hearing for Lori's case, and there is a stay in that case, so nothing big can happen. So it could have just been a discovery issue between the state and the defense. Who knows what it was going to be, but it is canceled for today. And maybe if it's rescheduled, certainly, we'll bring it to you as soon as it comes back, but we'll have to wait a few days and see what the court does if they reschedule. So that's all. Oh, yeah. Goodness. All right. So the new filings, all the new filings that we talked about earlier are up in the Discord channel. If you want to see them for yourself, they're kind of nothing burgers. I could put them on screen, just the orders to seal, order to seal, order to unseal, the order to seal. And it's like, I don't even want to talk about it. It's just ridiculous. So nothing important has happened in the Idaho cases over the last few days, just discovery battles between the two. We do know that the grand jury has indicted Lori in Charles's murder. Conspiracy to commit murder has been handed down upon her head from the grand jury. That is the best news we've had all week. Absolutely the best news. So,
and didn't they release some kind of statement saying that they were still looking into Brandon's attempted shooting?
Yep, they did. Let me put that on the screen.
So stuff is still working in the background. We might get justice for all these people after all,
We might.
It just takes a while.
All right, let me put the statement on the screen because it is actually kind of a good statement.
Yeah.
Let me find it. Here we go. I believe that's it. If I can make it bigger so you can read it. That's as big as I can make it. What this says, this is from the Maricopa County Attorney's Office. The grand jury indictment returned on Lori and Valo in the death of Charles Vallow. Tuesday, June 29th, 2021. On June 24th, 2021, Maricopa County Grand Jury charged Lori and Vallow with one count of conspiracy to commit first-degree murder, a Class 1 felony dangerous in the death of Charles Vallow. The indictment states that Lori and Vallow, on or about July 11th, 2019, with the intent to promote or aid the commission of an offense, to wit, first-degree murder, agreed with Alexander Cox that at least one of them or another would engage in conduct constituting the offense of first-degree murder. On July 11th, 2019, Alexander Cox, the brother of Lori Vallow, called 911 and reported that he had shot and killed his brother-in-law, Charles Vallow. Charles Vallow died at the scene of the shooting. Alexander Cox died in November of 2019. Complex, difficult cases of this nature take time to properly investigate and solve. I appreciate the tremendous number of hours the dedicated officers of the Chandler Police Department have invested, and my office is equally committed to bringing those responsible for Charles Vallow's death to justice, stated the county attorney, Alistair Adele. As with any charged crime, the county's attorney's office is committed to ensuring the due process rights of a defendant while ensuring the rights of the victims are protected and those who commit crimes are held accountable for their actions. Please see the attached grand jury indictment for additional details, so on and so forth. Now, this bothers me. Something in this bothers me, and I think a lot of you have said the same. It takes a long time to properly investigate and solve. Maybe you could have just listened to Charles when he told you. I still have that. I'm still really mad about that. How about you?
Yeah. Y'all know I have a thing about holding people accountable, especially when it comes to kids. And I know that one is specifically about Charles, but had they listened to Charles, he would still be alive and the kids would still be alive because they would have removed them. And
Tammy would probably still be alive.
And yep. Tammy would probably. The whole thing could have shifted. Yeah, I don't. It's rough to see them say that.
Yeah, that was. It was hard to swallow that line because it was like, well, yeah. Guys, all right. I'm glad you finally got there. But you had a chance to have stopped it and you ignored that chance. So I don't think I'll ever not be angry about that, but I am still happy at the same time that we are moving forward for justice. Yeah. So
it looks like we have an invalid Discord invite link thing. We'll have to probably get a new one and put it in the description box, guys.
Yeah. We have some breaking news that Chandler police are releasing probable cause details in connection to the grand jury proceedings. All right, I will get on that.
man.
Is that out right now? All right, they're releasing it. We haven't seen it yet. Justin is on it. As soon as he's got the documents, I will get them to you.
Well, that's going to be something.
Yeah, definitely.
Ooh,
Definitely. That's what we want to see. So, excellent.
I don't know.
Yeah, like
You know,
Kat says, too many people drop the ball with Charles. Absolutely. Mhm.
Well, not only that, but like whenever he was trying to get Lori 5150 or whatever you want to call it, they bent over backwards to get her to not like to get out of there so that they wouldn't have to do it. I think that was a very, it's one thing to drop the ball, it's something else to throw it to the other team. In my opinion, I don't know. I don't know if we'll ever see anybody held accountable for that in an administrative role or whatever, however you want to put it. I don't know. But I feel bad for the family, What can you, there's no excuse for that.
Yeah, I'm watching Justin's Twitter, see if we get those documents before we go offline, because it would be really nice to talk about them right now. I would love to read through them with y'all for the first time and see what they had to say.
That's what we usually do.
Yep.
We've read so many documents over past couple of years. Oh my gosh, here they are, you guys. I think it's better to read with a group. Everybody picks up on different things. Yeah.
Yep, and there's a conversation in chat about Julie Rowe. You know that we talked about her first live that she did recently called Julie is Pissed. That was interesting. KUN, thank you so much for the super chat. I really appreciate it. And the super sticker is adorable. Thank you for your support. So yeah, if you haven't watched Julie's first video called Julie is Pissed, it's over on her YouTube channel. I'm not linking to it. You can find it. Just look for Julie Rowe in YouTube.
A crazy lady.
But then she had another one too the other day. And it's just as bad. It's just as bad. I don't know what to make of this Julie Rowe stuff. Jess, what do you think?
I mean, I don't know how else you yell for attention. Like, I don't. That woman would talk to a ham sandwich. I'm not even kidding. If, she complains that nobody wants to interview her, nobody cares. She is the most, I think, uninvolved person in this whole shenanigan that wants to be so dang bad. I've never seen somebody want to be involved with a horrific murder case as much as she does. It blows my mind.
Yep, not to interrupt, but Chelsea Diaz, thank you so much for the super chat. Just I appreciate your hard work on this, ladies. Please keep going. Thank you, Chelsea, and I'm glad you're here as always. And yeah, Crush, I did see you in the live chat, and I was like, that's interesting. Because you know how I feel about Julie Rowe, certainly, and all of her friends. But she did implicate herself from the jump. She absolutely did. She jumped in the second this story broke to be like, oh, I know all this stuff about Chad. She goes on Nancy Grace. She talks to anyone who will interview her after singing Chad's praises the whole time before they recovered the children. And then she switched her tune on a dime, of course, as all of them did. Sean Little Bear did the same thing. Chris Parrott, Melanie, all of them. They all were, oh, Chad is wonderful. He's a god on earth. You can't find any fault in him. And then the second, after June 9th, they all change their stories. Oh, we've been deceived by the adversary. Right. Okay. And Julie's just another one of those. She really is. She also is, I think, a little unstable. A little.
I think she's a flat out grifter. When people didn't want to talk to her about any of the scrap before they found the kids, after they found the kids, then it was, I'm in contact with Tammy on the other side. And it's like, really? We're going to play that card now? No.
Yeah.
No. I can't even.
The Swing 90 has a question. It says, if it turns out that Alex did all of the killing of everyone, can Chad and Lori still be convicted of first-degree murder, or will it be second-degree? They can be convicted of conspiracy to commit murder, which will carry the same penalty as if they were convicted of first-degree murder. So, yeah, as long as the state can prove that at the very least Chad and Lori were involved in the conspiracy and had overt acts and furtherance of the conspiracy to kill any of these people, they can face the same penalty as if they'd killed them themselves. So, and I certainly think from everything we know about the case, the state is going to prove that hands down. So
I think so.
I don't have any fear at all that Chad and Lori are going to walk. I don't. And I don't think any of us should even worry about that. So yeah, it'll be fine. I mean, they may plea at some point. They may decide to turn against each other, turn state's evidence or something, and get plea deals. But I don't think either of them, still, even with a plea deal, will ever see the light of day again.
I think they'll take a plea in Arizona. I think Lori will take a plea. I mean, I don't know that Chad would be implicated in that. I don't know. But I think once this plays out in Idaho, I think she'll take a plea in Arizona.
Yeah.
I don't think she'll do all this again.
Yep. Yep.
It would be. I'll be interested to see if anything happens with Alex. If any charges ever come for
his
whatever
death?
happened to him. Yeah, I'll be curious to see. I know a lot of people have been asking lately if we think this will turn into a federal case. Do you want to talk about that?
I don't think it will. I think it would have by now if it was going to, especially with the Arizona. Well, as soon as they made the recommendation of charges and it went to the grand jury, I think if it was going to be a federal case, it would have been at that point. So
yeah. I don't think they will. Usually when you see a federal case, it's because it's multi-state a lot of the times, and it's when maybe they're less likely to go full bore on it, and so they lump it all together. And I don't think they would take the ball with active prosecutions in 2 different states that are doing it. Yeah.
Now
there's
to get
some
back
Jess in chat, and I just saw that, but now I forgot what it was. Go ahead.
To get back to Julie Rowe, Kresha has a good point. She said that she was being as nice as she could to Julie in chat because it doesn't matter what people think. What matters is doing the right thing. I absolutely agree with that. I don't think Julie Rowe is of that mind. Like you said, Kresha, she feeds off the negativity. She loves her role as a martyr. She's selling herself as a martyr. Look how victimized I am. You should follow me because I'm the victim. I'm martyred. Everyone makes fun of me. Everyone is evil and nasty to me because I uphold light and truth. While she's cussing like a sailor, and then goes from being super angry and cussing to fake crying for 20 minutes, then back to super angry and cussing. I'm like, you are not the bastion of love and light, Missy. What's going on here?
I think if you were talking about a normal, I don't even know how you would put this in a normal context, but the fact that she drapes it all in religion and then it becomes I did not watch the newest video. Isn't it how she's going to charge and how everybody's going to have to show their face because people are...
All the rules for her Zoom hearing coming up.
I think what she's doing is still dangerous.
Yes, it is. She's still promoting...
I wouldn't coddle her at all.
What did she say? She said, the Russians are coming and they're going to bring the plague and God is going to kill all of you tomorrow and the earthquakes are coming. And so she's still promoting all of the same BS that has been the core of this case.
Yeah.
This culty group promoting this ridiculous baloney that is very dangerous. And now we've seen how dangerous it can be. And they haven't stopped. They're still doing it.
Now she's saying... And correct me if I'm wrong, because I didn't watch the last one. Isn't she now referring to the LDS church as a cult, like full blown? Isn't that what she's saying now?
Yes. She was LDS.
When I heard that, you're right, and was excommunicated, I'm like, that's like saying you can't fire me, I quit.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, really, Julie? Come on.
Yep.
Getting on a live stream and saying that I am the defender of God. I don't know what book you're reading, but I have a feeling if you are of the mindset that the Creator and all of that. I don't think he needs you.
Yep. I think God can handle his own problems.
I think y'all need to focus on getting on that side instead of wondering whose side he's on, because I don't think he's on any of these people's side. So it's a problem. So I don't feel so. I think what she does is a complete grift. I think she's trying to make money off of dead children, in my opinion.
This is the problem with everyone in this group.
Yep.
They're all trying to be the new prophet. They're all trying to be the new martyr. They're all trying to be the only one that can lead everyone to salvation, whether it's a portal to another planet or magic papers in a cave somewhere, that whatever. But they're all promoting this garbage, this nonsense, and they haven't stopped. They haven't learned. 6 people are dead, and they haven't learned yet that maybe what they're doing is dangerous.
It's
Maybe
like
it's wrong.
when you go to a picnic and there's a line of ants and you scatter them, but they all come back in formation anyway. That's what's going on here. They have not learned anything.
Nope.
Even though we have this many dead people, they have not learned what they're doing is dangerous.
Yep.
And I think that's ridiculous. They all want to play who's the most deceived. Oh, I'm the most deceived. And who can take over and who can sell the most stuff and who can talk about it the most. And I think it's absolutely disgusting that nobody's learned. Come follow me. I mean, ridiculous.
Yeah, like Christian says, selling fear. When we talked about religious narcissists, we did a whole live stream one night on religious narcissism. And one of the hallmarks of that is selling fear. Mm-hmm. The end of the world is nigh. Repent now. The end is coming. Right? That's what they're selling you. They're selling you fear. And they're saying, if you want to be safe when all of these terrible, terrible things happen, well, then follow me and pay me lots of money, and I'll lead you to a safe place. That's all they're selling. And preparing a people was all about this. It was preparing a people for the end of times, for the second coming, for, all of this stuff that's happening according to them. And they were all about Chad. Right? Don't let Michael and Nancy James fool you when they said, oh, we didn't really know him. He was just a speaker at our events. Baloney. They moved to Rexburg to follow him because they liked him that much. They were knee deep with everything Chad was doing. When once the children were discovered, they kind of had to backtrack big time and say, oh, we didn't really know Chad. We were deceived, blah, blah, blah. But they're still doing it. They're still doing. They call it different things now. They call it Latter-day Media, Book of Mormon Evidence, the Firm Foundation. They're working with Rod Meldrum, Abraham Gileadi, Tim Ballard. They're still. It's all the same people. They're still doing the same crap. They just call it different things now.
When you see these spiritual narcissists, they are enlightened. They have a special relationship, and it's not even them telling you for you to have that relationship with whatever it is they're tapping into. It's you can have a relationship with them, and they will be the go-between because they are above you. Like you don't ever get up. You know what I mean? There's always a buffer in the middle.
Lucretia has a good point. She says they're still prepping. There's still people prepping. Mike and Nancy are still promoting Sean Littlebear. Sean Littlebear, I have screenshots of him at Book of Mormon Evidence events, the Firm Foundation. He's still knee deep with Michael and Nancy James, even though he may go on social media and say he's not and say bad things about them. He is still actively working with them. You can't believe any of these people whenever they talk, because they only say something that's self-serving in that moment to try and keep their flock, to try and keep their followers, regardless of what they're doing. Or you're
just going to make more Chad and Lori's. That's the problem.
That's my issue.
The message, it's going to be the same thing. So whose life is it going to cost next? You just don't know where this is going. So no, I don't think you should let them scatter because you've got whoever you consider as the main characters in this play. It's got to be ripped down.
Stephanie Soresti has a good point. She says, why do you think Chad wasn't charged by the grand jury? He's the one who decided Charles's possessed body needed to be removed, like being a zombie. That is a point. Charles being a zombie came from Chad. He started that mess.
Charges.
So maybe we will eventually see a charge for Chad too, because that's certainly conspiracy to commit murder in my mind. So how did he escape that? I don't know. That's a good question. We'll have to keep an eye on that, So
see charges for other people too. I mean, there's no telling.
Mm-hmm.
We know there were people there the day before and then afterwards. So what do they know?
Yep. So all of them, I call them the culty people. And, maybe I should put up a list of names, but anyone who's ever been on a Preparing a People flyer, that's them, okay? And there's a lot of them. Melanie, Gibb, Julie Rowe, Sean Little Bear, Hector Sosa, Jason Mao, all of them, they're all part of the same group. So if any of them come out saying, well, I am wonderful because I denounced it. No, you're not. You're part of that group. Get away from me. I don't want to hear it.
It's just
So,
been repackaged.
Yep.
People are asking why the thing was vacated today. It was some kind of medical emergency for somebody involved, not Lori.
Yeah.
It's not that. Just something with somebody in the court system.
Yeah.
It'll be rescheduled.
Yeah.
Lori, they didn't go in there and sing Kumbaya and decide, oh, we don't need to do this today.
For everyone who's thank you guys in chat who are letting me know that it was vacated. But if you look at the screen down at the bottom, there's a scrolling text banner. So yeah, we know that it has been vacated. We said it as soon as somebody let me know, and we double checked and verified. But yeah, it will not be today, unfortunately. So one thing that I wanted to talk about, since Crush is here, Tim Ballard, the Operation Underground Railroad. All right. This is something I haven't talked about publicly yet. There's something going on. A lot of these people, including Melanie Pulowski, are involved in something called Operation Underground Railroad, right? And they are...
Is that what Julie's into or no?
I think she is at some point. It was, at least. Okay. I'm not sure if she still is. But I believe that's a lot of what her safe houses were supposed to be about, but whatever. Yeah, OUR is what they call it. Operation Underground Railroad. This is a group who they say that they're going out to save children from sex trafficking and such. But authorities and FBI and things like that have come out and said, dude, you're actually making it worse. Can you quit it? It's a big problem. Look into Operation Underground Railroad. Kresha has a video on her channel really getting into it. All right? Really go watch that video. You need to know that that's what's happening. That's what's happening in this situation. And it's something that we've been talking about a lot, especially in regards to the Summer Wells case and that group who's doing kind of the same thing. And it's like, this is really,
Can you
scary.
even imagine? You want these people to be involved with saving trafficked kids?
Mm-mm.
Talk about a nightmare. Oh, my word.
Yep. But and that's a big project, and it's something that really needs some light shed on it. So there's a lot of things that all of these culty people are doing that are not helping the way they say they're helping, and they're still promoting the end times extremist beliefs, and they're going to create another Chad and Lori if they're not exposed. We're going to have a case like this again with the same roots in these groups unless they're exposed. So, it's an important thing to talk about. But that's why...
check out a flyer, too, that the name of it just flew out my head. The one that has the big celebrity with a lot of money attached to it. Yeah, they're still doing the same crap.
Yep.
Same crap with more money. It's not good, guys.
Yeah, but this is why we talk about Julie Rowe here. Someone asked me earlier, why do you even talk about Julie Rowe? She doesn't matter. She does matter insofar as she's part of this group promoting these extremist beliefs, which leads to people like Chad and Lori, which then leads to deaths of innocent people. So that's why we talk about it. That's a big problem. If we have to look at how this happened, we can say, well, who murdered the children? Who murdered Charles? Who murdered? And, there's all of that. But why did this happen? How did it get to that point? And it starts with these extremist religious beliefs, and that's where it's got to end.
If people don't look into this, and people like Ewan or anybody else that speaks about it, if nobody says anything because they think, oh, well, Lori and Chad are being prosecuted for this, people will see this, oh, what's this about? And click on it and go. And if you let them play the martyr, the victim, the most deceived, and don't look at it as dangerous, how many more people are going to get sucked in because they just don't even know? I mean, how many people are looking at this who don't follow the case or whatever? They just hear these names and like, well, what's that about, And it does sound like they're all going to go camping and sing Kumbaya and they're all these moral people, but this is crazy. I mean, it's crazy and it's dangerous. So you do have to talk about it.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And someone asked about, do we expect to see any other indictments for conspiracy like Melanie Gibb? Now, certainly, we've played a portion of that phone call on this channel. I did make it private for other reasons. But where Melanie Gibb saying she knew for months and months they were trying to figure out how to get rid of Charles. She knew. She was there in the house when Lori was packing up all of Charles's stuff after Lori somehow stole his truck from the airport without any help, Melanie Gibb. I mean, she was so involved. She's so involved. And from last June, watch my first videos back from last June, where I was hammering on Melanie Gibb from the second I started covering this case. And now, maybe she'll be called to account, but it looks like everyone's just favoring her because she'll say what they want her to say. No, she was involved. She's involved. She should be in jail right next to Lori. And I've said that since... Even Denise was saying that before I started covering this case. Denise was all over Melanie Gibb too, because we saw right through her. And when we talk about that, it's the same thing with Julie Rowe. I don't know if she knows as much, but she knows more than she said publicly. She certainly said a lot of things that were untrue publicly. Just tell the authorities what you know, for real, without playing a martyr or anything. Just come clean. Just let's get some damn justice going, because these people make me crazy, Jess. They make me crazy.
Yeah.
All right, Justin has the documents up. All right, here we go. We're going to put these on the screen, and we're going to read them. Here we go. Give me a second.
Why do I dread this? Oh,
I don't know.
Okay. Yeah, no. I hope it's not something bad. Of course, it's going to be bad. There's not going to be anything good in this.
All right, I haven't downloaded them yet, so I can't make them super large for you to read because I can't adjust the size, but I will read them to you, and we'll go from there, okay? So here we go. This is page 1. Let's see if I can make it bigger so I can read it. Hold on. Sorry about that. Here we go. My eyes are not what they used to be. All right. On July 11th, 2019, at 08:32 hours, the Chandler Police Department was called to the address of redacted South Four Peaks Place in Chandler, referencing a shooting. The caller, who identified himself as Alex Cox, indicated that he had shot his brother-in-law, Charles Vallow, in self-defense. Actually, wait, hold on a second. Kresha, is it okay with you if I read these? I don't know if you haven't seen them yet. I might not want to read these.
Okay, is this this is from the grand jury in Arizona, or this is out of the grand jury in Rexburg? This
is Chandler. This is Arizona grand jury.
Okay.
All right.
I thought it was the other way around.
All right, I'm going to read it. I just wanted to check with Kresha first before I did that. Let me find it again. I just lost it. Where'd it go? Hold on. Tweet deck, Justin, give me the post. All right, let me get it back up. Come on. All right, here we go. Alex Cox indicated that he had shot his brother-in-law, Charles Vallow, in self-defense. As a result, a homicide investigation took place. Really? It did? And all pertinent parties to the incident were interviewed. The scene was also processed and analyzed based on these interviews. At the conclusion of the investigation on July 11th, there was a concern about a potential bullet strike on the ground near Charles Vallow's body. There was also concern regarding the timeline of events that came to light in the days following the homicide. None of these concerns would immediately provide probable cause for the arrest of anyone present at the time of the murder, and more investigation was necessary. I take issue with that. Let's go forward. In the weeks following the murder of Charles Vallow, investigators learned that Charles and Lori Vallow were experiencing turmoil in their marriage. As a result, Charles moved Lori into the residence on Four Peaks Place with Lori's daughter, Tylee Ryan, and their adoptive son, J.J. Vallow, who is diagnosed with blah, blah, blah. Charles Vallow remained in Texas and came to town to visit on July 10th. When looking into the relationship between Lori and Charles, it was learned that Lori had accused Charles of infidelity, which led to their separation. It was also learned that during the uncertainty of their relationship, Lori left JJ with Charles and disappeared for over 2 months. It was also learned that Charles was concerned for Lori's mental health, as she had begun to express that she was selected to prepare 144,000 people for the end of the world. Concerned for her well-being and that of the children, Charles filed a mental health petition asking for a mental health evaluation. In this petition, Charles talked about how Lori had told him that he was possessed by a dark spirit by the name of Ned Schneider. Lori would even refer to Charles in conversation and documentation by the name of Ned. This turmoil in the relationship can be substantiated through police reports, court orders, police body camera footage, cell phone records, and witness testimony. On October 3rd, 2019, the Chandler Police Department learned of the attempted murder of someone. On October 2nd, 2019, someone reported that someone shot at him when he was arriving. Well, obviously that's Brandon. Brandon Boudreaux reported that someone shot at him when he was arriving home while he was exiting his vehicle in front of his Gilbert residence. He indicated that the shot was fired from the back of a Jeep Wrangler parked down the street from his residence. Someone suspected that the shooter was possibly Alex Cox. Someone further reported that Lori Vallow was to blame for his impending divorce from his wife, so-and-so, the niece to Lori. Okay, that would be Melanie Pulowski, then Boudreaux. Someone then provided authorities with insight into the extreme religious beliefs of Lori Vallow and Alex Cox. Someone suspected that these beliefs led him to lose his wife and also led to the murder of Charles Vallow. While continuing to investigate the murder of Charles Vallow, someone, grandmother of J.J. Vallow, obviously that's Kay, contacted Detective Moffat and was concerned about J.J. She indicated that she had not heard from J.J. and that Lori was not allowing him to call or video message her and her husband. It was discovered that Lori had relocated to Rexburg, Idaho with Alex Cox. Idaho authorities were asked to conduct a welfare check on J.J. and Tylee Ryan. During this welfare check in November of 2019, Lori indicated that the kids were staying with someone in Arizona. Investigators contacted someone and determined that this was not the case. Lori also told another witness that JJ and Tylee went to stay with someone. This was obviously not the case either. During this time, investigators learned that Lori Vallow had married Chad Daybell, who was a resident of Rexburg, Idaho. Strangely, Chad's wife Tammy Daybell died in her sleep on October 19th, 2019. Lori and Chad would marry within a month of Tammy's passing. As a result, investigators from the Chandler Police Department, Gilbert Police, Rexburg Police, Fremont County Sheriff's Office, and the FBI began to coordinate efforts to locate JJ and Tylee and also investigate the respective cases within their jurisdiction. This coordinated effort consisted of numerous search warrants on telephone records, social media accounts, bank records, medical, email, residences, and seized electronic devices. As a result of the data recovered, it was believed that none of the mentioned crimes were coincidence or justifiable. Specifically to Chandler, the evidence shows that Charles's death was a planned event necessary to prevent Charles and others from confronting Lori about her extreme religious beliefs when he came to town on July 11th. The death of Charles Vallow was also necessary in order for Chad Dabil and Lori Vallow to marry and fulfill the religious prophecy. It was discovered that Lori Vallow believed she was an exalted goddess, and she and Chad were directed to lead the 144,000 people in preparing for the end of the world. Through this investigation, many witnesses came forward and provided insight into this belief system. Using these interviews and the data gathered from the above-mentioned warrants, several others who shared Lori and Chad's belief system were identified. Those pertinent to the investigation were identified, and all their names are redacted. Great. It was discovered that Lori and Chad believed that they had extraordinary abilities. Some of these abilities included the power to teleport and cause harm to others, the ability to call up natural disasters, the ability to pray away demonic spirits attached to others, and also visionary capabilities. Because of these abilities provided to them, they felt that they were qualified to tell whether someone had a light or dark scale associated with them. This scale would indicate whether or not they had demonic spirits attached to them. Lori and Chad would often refer to these dark spirits by actual name, by a certain level of spirit, or using the term zombies. Lori and Chad also shared a trust level in referring to others. In examining the data, these dark scales were attached to someone, Charles, JJ, and Tylee. Many others were also provided with dark and light scales. Coincidentally, if you shared their belief system, your score was favorable. Imagine that. If you offered any opposition to their belief or their destiny, you were seen as possessed. In reviewing the documents collected by the agencies involved, the following would show that Lori and Alex conspired to murder Charles Vallow on July 11th. The first evidence to cause harm to Charles Vallow was discovered in text messages between someone and Lori Vallow on November 3rd of 2018. Someone is a friend of Lori Vallow and also the widow of Alex Cox. Well, gee, I wonder who that is. I guess that'd be Zulema. The cell phone was seized and data extracted by the Gilbert Police Department after the death of her husband, Alex Cox. So, interesting. They got evidence about this from Zulema's cell phone. Huh. All right. On November 3rd at 1440 hours, someone tells Lori that she was told by God that she is to protect Lori. Okay. That she was told by God. I would have thought that would have been Alex. In January of 2019, someone told Lori that she had a vision that she could create storms and fire and will have the eye of the Lord. On the 6th at 1606 hours, Lori texted someone telling her that Charles was blocking her gifts. From this point forward, there's a specific conversation to cause harm to Charles Vallow, who has also been referred to as a dark spirit called Hiplos or Ned. That is all redacted. That's kind of big. That's all about Zulema. Ooh. Interesting. Jess, are you there?
Yep.
What do you
I just
think
didn't
of
want to kind of
that?
leave.
Those are the
That
only
is
pages up so far.
interesting. Oh, that's it? Okay. Sorry.
So
I didn't
far,
want to make
yeah.
noise while you were reading it. Wow. That's interesting. I would have thought they would have gotten more information from Alex's stuff rather than Zulema's. I think she's a little more involved than any of us quite
Yeah.
knew.
Huh. Yeah, the Zulema
That's
thing.
new.
Let me look at that again. That's kind of a big deal. Because what they're saying here, on November 3rd, Zulema tells Lori that she was told by God that she is to protect Lori. Interesting, because we know that that's always been attributed to Alex. So was this Alex and Zulema? Very interesting.
Is
And in
this,
January,
could it be Alex on Zulema's cell phone? So they
I
didn't
don't
trace
think
it?
so, because
I
that
doubt
wouldn't
it.
track with the rest of this part. So, and that's November of 2018. Zulema tells Lori that she was told by God that she is to protect Lori. And in January of 2019, remember, January is the big month that they had all the trouble that Lori took Charles's truck. We see Lori and Melanie Gibb at the police station with all that stuff. That happened in January of 2019. Zulema told Lori that she had a vision that she could create storms and fire and will have the eye of the Lord. So I guess Zulema is just as crazy as all these other people. There you go. And on February 6th, Lori texted Zulema and told her that Charles was blocking her gifts. From this point forward, specific conversation to cause harm to Charles Vallow, who has also been referred to as a dark spirit. A specific conversation to cause harm to Charles Vallow. So not only did Melanie Gibb know this was in the works, so did Zulema. What do you guys think of that?
I know people are pointing out that Zulema has an immunity agreement. That immunity agreement's in Idaho. She could have one in Arizona too, but that's not one and the same. She would have to have a different one, correct?
Yeah,
You're showing all your
check.
Twitter stuff. I didn't know if you.
That's okay.
Okay.
There's just someone said there are new pages up. So where are the pages? Here's one new page. Oh no, that's what we just read out loud.
Could be another deal with the devil. I mean, they might have had to give her one to get that information. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's interesting though. It's not where I thought it would come from.
Yeah, I'll reach out to Justin, see if he'll send me the entire thing, and we'll do a video on it. But my goodness. All right, so what do you think of that, Zulema?
That's a lot
Zulema.
to process. Yeah,
it is. It is. Now we know that Charles's death was planned. We know that from Melanie Gibb's statement. Now we know Zulema was just as in on it. Now I want to know more about the relationship between Zulema and Melanie Gibb. We know that Melanie Gibb visited their house before Thanksgiving or around Thanksgiving, right before he died. Well, December. He died in December. But, oh, man.
it makes
this
sense
gets
to
worse.
me. Like, not that that's what I expected, but I've never been able to reconcile who Alex was to what they claimed about Alex. Like, he doesn't strike me as an overly religious person. You know what I mean? That's always seemed weird to me. I always thought if, they wanted to tout him as Lori's protector, I would have imagined that they told him that, not that he had some great vision or a dream or, like a personal calling. I don't even know what kind of weird language to put to that. I could see somebody telling him, "Oh, you have to protect Lori. God told me you have to do it." You know what I mean?
Right.
But
I see Alex as a blank slate who is utterly malleable. by the
Yeah.
stronger personalities around him.
Yeah.
And that's what happened. Algo says that there's a statement that says there is no obvious communication found between Lori Vallow and Chad Daybell to show that he was directly involved, except he is the one that put this in their head. That to me is direct involvement, but maybe I'm crazy, you know.
They'll probably bring that in, that email, the manuscript or whatever the heck you want to call it, coming from him. I'm sure that'll
hope
make it
so.
into evidence.
I hope
That'll
so.
wrangle him on in. And anybody else. I hope they, justice, and I know we've said it a few times, justice isn't just about Chad and Lori. It's, real justice is getting everybody that's involved accountable for what they did and not picking up anybody that wasn't. You know what I mean? If there are people in this group that really didn't have anything to do with it, I don't want to see them get in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
But I want everybody that involved in the murder of these people and what led up to it and who covered it afterwards to absolutely be prosecuted to the fullest extent.
Yep. And I've been saying that for ever since I've done YouTube videos. I've said, okay, Chad and Lori should be in jail. But what about all of these other people? How are they walking free? Lori and Chad didn't do this alone. They didn't come to this belief system alone. They had a lot of people bolstering them and feeding into these crazy ideologies and promoting these beliefs and encouraging them to do this stuff, and a lot of people still yell at me about Melanie Gibb, but dang it, she knew that all of these people were going to die and she sat there and let it happen. That's conspiracy. That's accessory after the fact. Charge that woman. Charge it.
And just to play devil's advocate, the people that criticize us for going after Melanie so hard, if you want to play devil's advocate and tell me, okay, this phone call that got recorded, say she's lying. Maybe she's saying this after the fact to make herself sound like she was more involved. What the hell kind of person does that when you're talking about dead kids? Who would go in after the fact and think that's a good thing to brag about knowing about the stuff before it happened? That is a seriously mentally ill person.
Yes.
So either she's involved or she's really, really needs some help and messed up.
Yep. Now, and we've certainly talked about this before in other cases, like with Crystal Kenny. All right. Crystal Kenny knew that Patrick Frazee was trying to kill his ex or whatever she was. Girlfriend. Crystal Kenny even showed up there to try and kill her 4 times and changed her mind at the last minute. That woman's not in jail anymore. Are you kidding me?
She got out on a technicality. I was so pissed. And
even the prosecutor said we had to make a deal with the devil because we needed her statements to get Patrick. And I'm like, that's beyond a deal with the devil. This woman tried to kill her 4 times.
What made me so mad, they argued to keep her out of prison for what little bit she did get. She was only supposed to, the most she could get was 3 years. They argued to keep her out of prison until after Christmas so she could spend Christmas with her kids. That ran all over me. But the scary part about that, the lawyer that got her that sweetheart of a deal signed and sealed before she ever opened her mouth is who's representing Barry Morphew right now, people.
Mm-hmm.
Be very afraid of that.
Yep.
I'm not happy that she's representing Barry Morphew.
Yep. I missed some super chats. Emily Flotilla, thank you so much for that super sticker. That is a great cheery thing that made me smile. Thank you. Needed a smile in this. Thank you, Emily. I'm so glad you're here. Rye Bread says with the super chat, thank you so much, Rye Bread. What if they're manipulating Melanie Gibb to keep her talking? Possibly. But I mean,
what if Melanie Gibb's manipulating everybody else? Because in my opinion, she came out so that she could put her version of the narrative out, and everybody bought it hook, line, and sinker because she's talking.
Absolutely. Remember, Melanie Gibb first put her letter on Avow. She was one of the first people to come out after they found the children to play the "I have been deceived by the adversary" card. She was one of the first. Her, and then I think Christopher Parrott was second. But she came out of the gate swinging. I didn't know they were terrible. I thought that their beliefs were a little strange. Baloney, lady. You were there. You were there. We learned from Zach Cox that Melanie Gibb was in the house with Lori packing up Charles's belongings before he got home from his business trip. She was there with Lori doing it, physically acting with Lori to do these things to Charles. But now she plays it off as, oh, she did some terrible things to Charles. Oh, what do you mean she did? You're supposed to say, we did, because you took part in it, woman. So I think Melanie Gibb is spinning her own story. She's trying to play the players.
I think I would challenge anybody who follows this case pretty closely to question everything you think you know about this case and break it back down to what you can actually lay down with facts at this point. There's a lot of things that people have in their head that happened in this case that have only come out of Melanie Gibb's mouth.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying it's all lies. I have no idea. I'm saying I think she was real smart to get out in front of this and do the interviews so that she could say whatever she wanted to. I think she plays a good victim.
Yep.
Apparently Lifetime did too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they really portrayed Melanie Gibb as the voice of reason in that movie. And I'm like, have you guys paid attention to this case at all? Really? Come on. She's not the voice of reason. No.
If that woman is anything other than the voice of a daggone cartoon, we're in trouble.
That's true. And talking about Alex, here's an interesting. This is something that we've been debating a lot amongst ourselves. Alex Cox's death. Do any of you think Alex died of natural causes? If you do, raise your hand. The rest of us don't. I don't think he died of natural causes. Do I think he may have been murdered? Yes, he may have been. And if he was, even though I absolutely think he was directly involved in the murders of these other people, certainly Charles, that's not a question. But if you think Alex was murdered, shouldn't somebody be held accountable for that? Even though he was a murderer himself, we know he murdered Charles. That's not a question. So don't you think whoever murdered Alex should also be held accountable for that? I don't know. A lot of people say don't waste resources. It's just Alex. But I'm like, but if they murdered another person too, get him some more charges. You know?
Not only that, if you don't investigate that, number one, it's your right as a citizen, and everybody should use that to the nth degree, whether he's a murderer or not. If they don't investigate it because you think it's a waste of money, a waste of time, whatever, you might find something in investigating his death that finally puts pieces together in these other ones that they would not have had otherwise.
Yes.
You just never know. Yeah, all these autopsies were done by different people. What if they only caught something in Alex's autopsy that they can finally put this other crap together with? You've got to. I know y'all think it's a waste, or people think it's a waste of time and a waste of money because he's dead. And these two are, probably going away for the rest of their life if they don't get a death penalty.
Yep.
But it's still worth it to investigate it because you just never know.
And look what we have on the screen. Zulema actively took part with Lori in planning and how to cause harm to Charles Vallow. If Zulema would do that, you'd think she'd stop at Alex, who she didn't know. They were married for 2 weeks before he died. It's not like they were best friends. Come on. So I think Alex's death warrants more investigation too. Not because I'm so worried about Alex and justice for Alex. Oh, poor Alex. I'm not saying that. No. But if he was murdered, the murderers need to be held accountable for that as well as all of the other deaths.
Yeah.
Because I don't want them getting free on anything.
I think even in my brain, Zulema played a really good victim too. What she's put out sounds like she was trying to get Alex out of that situation and away from Lori. Yep. And now we're finding out she was up to her neck too.
Yep.
That's why you can't just let these people go, Now,
Zulema has been smart insofar as she hasn't been doing media interviews and all that kind of stuff. That's smart. But maybe that's the only smart thing she did. But this right here, this changes my mind on the possibility of her being actually physically culpable in the death of Alex. That needs to be investigated. And if she knew about Charles, that Lori probably knew about Alex, and this might have been a whole nother plan. So, goodness gracious me.
And what if you find out there's more? What if if in investigating Zulema and Alex and all of these fringe people. What if you find out there's more people that have died just like this?
Yep.
That their families think, wow, that's really strange, but
Yes. Like Algo said.
there's just, you never know what you're going to find when you investigate stuff like this.
Yep.
You just never know.
Algo reminds us that Zulema lawyered up a minute after Alex died. Watch the body cam videos again. They're all up on the channel and they're all up in Discord, where Zulema, while Alex's body was still warm, gets herself a dang lawyer and is freaking out about the police having a search warrant for her home. Right? There's a reason for that. There's a reason for that. And now I am 10,000 times more concerned about Zulema than I was yesterday. So, goodness. Oh, man, I can't with this case. Just when you think it can't get worse, it gets worse.
Somebody in the chat, they're talking, well, I'll just read it. Evelyn, please listen to what Zach says in the last few seconds of his interview and talk about that, please.
What did he say? I don't remember the last few seconds.
I don't know. I'm assuming they're talking about the interview with
Justin.
Nate, right? Justin. Sorry. My brain is mush, guys. I've had an hour and a half sleep today. I don't know what you have to refer. I watched it. I don't know what the last few seconds of that interview said. I'll have to put it in the thing.
Yeah, I have to go back and watch it.
I'll talk about whatever. Well, there's things I won't talk about.
Yeah, if you haven't seen it, go check Justin Lum's Facebook. It's also on YouTube. Justin Lum did an interview with Zach Cox. Zach Cox is one of the very few, if not the only Cox family member that I think is being truthful. All right, and you know that could be called into question at some point, but Zach did a fantastic interview with Justin Lum. He said a lot of things that shed a lot of light on how that family operated, the role that Janice had, who is Lori Vallow's mother, in the dynamics of the family. He talked a lot about Melanie Gibb as her involvement with Lori and doing these things against Charles. It was a great interview. So yeah, please go and check that out. That's a great interview to watch. I think there's a lot of truth in that. Granted, we don't take anything at face value as truth, but it does seem truthful to me, and he said a lot of important things. So I'll go back and rewatch that and see what he said in the last few seconds, because I'm not remembering now off the top of my head. He said that he and his dad lived in fear for almost 2 years before they heard Alex was dead. Yeah, Alex died 5 months after Charles. Yep.
And what are the chances that he just drops dead the day after they announce that they are going to exhume Tammy?
Yep.
I mean, karma could be a real thing, and maybe he did. But shoot, I'd like to give whoever credit for killing him, I guess.
Yeah, it's a weird situation because they exhumed Tammy's body on December 11th. Of 2019, and December 12th is the day that Alex died. Coincidentally, December 12th is also the day that Melanie Gibb and David Warwick got married. So there's that,
How weird is that? I mean, it's just so, the thing is just don't add up, people.
Excuse me.
For these people to not have anything involved in it, just to be about Alex and Chad and Lori, it just doesn't add up. It's so much bigger than that. I don't know how far it goes. I don't know that we'll ever know.
Yeah.
But I think if you're screaming for justice for the kids, it needs to go as far as it goes,
Yep.
Follow it to the end.
So, yeah. I really want to, I will talk to Justin and see if he can send me the full text of this so we can go through it.
Yeah.
Or he might be posting it as I speak. I just haven't checked it. So we will get into this. I really want to know more about, if we can glean who testified to the grand jury about this. I think that's going to be a big key. So hopefully we can get those documents from Justin, or he'll post them all on his Twitter and we can go through them. But this shows, I didn't like the first page where they talked about the investigation, because I thought that bothered me a little bit. Where was that? Let me go over that again. Yeah, they talk as a result, the homicide investigation took place. Really? I didn't see a homicide investigation taking place. I saw you patting them all on the head and sending them home and kind of letting it go for a while.
You practically high-fived them. I mean, really.
Yep.
That is crazy to me.
I am not forgetting what happened after Charles has died. I mean, yes, I'm really glad this happened now, but if that was a homicide investigation, then geez, you
They
better
were,
go look at all your other self-defense cases and re-examine those too. Because
yeah, it
dang.
was so much of a homicide investigation. They had time to throw a daggone pool party at the
Yep.
house within hours. Yeah, they really had
Mhm.
that place locked down.
Yeah, they didn't. They didn't even lock it up as a crime scene. Some homicide investigation, so
They didn't even put handcuffs on the guy who claimed to shot him. I mean, good
yep,
grief.
yep. And that like Chris said, it's bothersome to discuss, but it's imperative because the whole thing with Charles, I keep coming back to the point that if they had taken Charles seriously, all of these people would
All these
still be
people will be
alive.
alive.
And I
And if we
can't
don't
forget
do it
that.
now, how many more people are they going to get away with not investigating because they don't want to? They don't want to fill out the paperwork, whatever. I'm following a kid case right now. Do y'all know who the YouTube mom, that's what they've dubbed her, that was turned in for child abuse that had been called 20 different times? She
No.
died in jail not that long ago before she could really go to trial. This was in this county. They held one of the kids got out and she had to call police to find him because she couldn't find him. He was picked up in Maricopa County and they held them responsible because they never even filed with CPS because they didn't want to do the paperwork.
Hmm.
And they
Goodness.
were held accountable. It wasn't enough, in my
Yeah.
opinion. They weren't fired. I think they got 16 hours or something of
Mhm.
unpaid time off, something stupid. But yeah, people who are in charge of taking care of the community like this do need to be held accountable.
Yes. And that's
They
part
do.
of this whole big case is you got to see it as Zulema took part in this activity, right? She may have known about the murder. She may have helped her plan it. All of this happened. And when Charles died, it was kind of just like, self-defense. Oh, well, nothing we can do, right? How easy would it be for this to happen again with all of these people that are still involved in this stuff? Melanie Pulowski worked for Tim Ballard in the Operation Underground. Certainly, she's Lori Vallow's niece. She probably knows a whole lot more than we've ever heard her say, but she's out there playing like Lori's innocent and da 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 da. Her husband was shot at. Her ex-husband. They tried to kill Brandon Boudreaux. And I say they because certainly from the documents, law enforcement is implying that Alex Cox did it. Do we know that for sure? I wouldn't be surprised. Was he alone? I don't know. So who tried to kill Alex? I mean, Brandon. Somebody did. So the deaths that we have were not the only deaths that were scheduled, so to speak,
The,
right?
I mean, she'd already started labeling some of her kids as zombies.
Yep.
The thought that that group of nuts is going to be involving themselves with at-risk youth is scary. That is downright scary to think about these people having any kind of connection to trafficked children is
Yep.
beyond me. That is terrifying.
All right, all the documents are up. Let me go check the Twitter. Let's check the Justin Twitter feed because I want to see all of them. What do
There
we
are
got?
people in this group that are still doing youth ministry. Is this who you want talking to your teenagers on Sunday?
All right, there more documents are up. Let's read through them because these are probably going to be good. This is the big redacted section about Zulema. So, and then it
Make it
goes on
big.
to say, make it big. Go to StreamYard. This is big as I can make it, but I'll read it for you from my Twitter. It says, through text messages between Lori and Charles that were seen on Charles's phone, Lori would return to Texas on June 3rd, 2019. On June 3rd, 2019, Lori to someone, just got home and got JJ to sleep. Let's go spiritually tonight and work on him. We give the timing to the Lord, but we don't need to relent. This is war. Ooh, June 19th. Somebody to Lori. Oh, and can you meet me at the temple in the morning? I have time tomorrow, and we can work on Hiplos. Hiplos, is one of the names they called Charles. I'm not sure who that is. That's interesting. Looking into Lori Vallow's web history using something, I saw that a web search was conducted on 6/21 for Social Security disability. Utilizing the URL attached to the web search, it took me to a Social Security disability application. This form allows you to enter the applicant's information, to be able to obtain free benefits evaluation. The search is of importance as it would indicate an inquiry as to the benefits that Lori would be entitled to. In a text message that Lori sent to Chad Daybell on July 18th, 2019, 1 week after Charles was murdered, she indicated the following. So I talked to the insurance company. He changed it in March, so it was probably Ned before we got rid of him. Before we got rid of him. Nice. They can't tell me who, of course, but it's done. I still get the $4,000 a month from Social Security. Lori would not have known this without completing the online benefit evaluation. Furthermore, the Social Security Administration did not have any contact with Lori until she attended an appointment with them on August 12th, 2019. The appointment date was located in Lori's iCloud account. It was at this time that Lori was provided with the actual amount of the benefit, which was close to the $4,000 she reported to Chad in July. On June 22nd, 2019, Alex Cox entered the conversation regarding hip loss or Charles Vallow. On June 22nd, Alex started to text someone from something. Through a search warrant, this number was identified as belonging to Alex Cox. On June 22nd, at 19:02 hours, Alex sent someone a message saying, "Hey, someone, it's Alex." 6:27, somebody to Lori, "Do you think there is a way to change hip loss to the light?" Interesting. On June 29th, Charles Vallow discovered a fictitious letter that Lori sent to someone. This letter was written as if it was from Charles Vallow, asking Chad Dabil to come to Arizona to assist him with writing a book. The discovery would send everything into action. Charles confronted Lori about the fictitious letter, accusing her of writing the letter so Chad Dabil could provide a reason to his wife to come to Arizona to visit Lori. Charles asked Lori to come clean about her relationship with Chad Dabil by the end of the day, or he would contact Tamara Daybell and inform her of the relationship. That's dangerous. Never confront a narcissist. Let's see if there's a new page. Following the discovery of this letter, Charles Vallow began talking to someone, Lori and Alex's brother, that would be Adam, about his discovery as well as Lori's radical beliefs. The two then communicated with each other to plan an intervention on or around July 10th. Charles had arranged to come to Arizona and also arranged travel for someone else. During this time, someone, Lori and Chad, continued to message about Charles, aka Hiplos. All of that's redacted. I would like to see that. There is no obvious communication found between Lori and Chad to show that he was directly involved with the planning of Charles Vallow's murder. Lori found out about someone coming to town through her mother and someone. My goodness. All right, that's all we got, I think. That
is craziness right there.
Wait, I got one more page. Do you want to mute again? I got one more page. Sorry about that. Lori found out about the potential intervention on July 9th. She reached out to Alex Cox, someone to warn them of the elaborate plan that someone and Charles had, meaning Adam. Adam and his son Zach were picked up at the airport on July 10th by someone, mother. Someone provided Lori with updates regarding someone's whereabouts and asked Lori if she wanted to run interference. Lori told someone that she was trying to figure it out, all redacted. There's no indication who blank was talking about killing. In text messages found on the blank iCloud, blank asked Lori if she wanted to have their mother do a preemptive strike and confront someone, probably Adam. Someone told their mother no and asked that she just collect information. Based on the text messages that were located, it was apparent that they were trying to keep someone away from Alex and to come up with a plan on their own. Janice Cox, woman. I'm looking at her next. Lori told her sister that she was headed to Lori told Summer that she was headed to Alex's house on July 10th. During this time, she continued to message Charles and never once confronted him about her knowing that something was planned. Lori reached out to someone and convinced her to cancel a trip to Utah for a wedding, telling her, "You can't go at all. We'll both need to stay here to defend ourselves." Lori added, It's coming to a head this week. This week will change everything. Lori would also tell Alex, "Getting sleepy, so I'm going to need you to stay close to me in the next couple of days. Somebody else too. She can't go to Utah. They're planning some kind of intervention, but want someone out of the way, so I'm left alone. I need to come get the stuff at your house tomorrow and secure it. Lots to do. Thank you for standing by me. It's all coming to a head this week. I will be like Nephi. I am told, and so will you." On July 11th, Charles Vallow arrived at the address in South Four Peaks Place to pick up JJ. When he arrived, he texted someone telling him that Alex was there. Someone told Charles that they were planning something, and Charles... I don't have the next page. All right, well... Okay, that's all we got for right now.
What a cliffhanger. That ain't right.
Yeah, I know.
I don't mean to make light of that. That's a lot of really heavy information.
There's a lot in here. There's a lot to unpack in this. So we're going to have to go through it, find the missing page. But
notice they're not so religious when they're flat out telling you that they're trying to get rid of people.
Mm-hmm. And Janice Cox.
Yeah.
That woman, she knew all about this. Huh. Somebody told me to
You
go.
don't see her nice charge because she's the one who said, "Oh, I spoke to JJ."
All right, Justin has the whole thing up on. I'm trying to find that one page we don't have. Okay, here it is. I got it. Let me share this from Facebook. Thank you for telling me to check Facebook. Justin Lum on Facebook. Here we go. Can you see it?
The best thing coming out of Facebook this week. My goodness.
Yep. All right, here's the missing page. Jess, when you mute your mic, mute it through StreamYard, not the button on the mic. Because it makes a huge noise when you turn it back on. That's all. All right, so here's the missing page. Let's read this. It says, stated absolutely, blank indicated that he was supposed to spend the night with Alex, but Lori probably blocked this. Following the murder of Charles Vallow, Lori took his rental vehicle and cellular phone. The GPS data associated with the phone indicated that the phone left the residence at 7:49 in the morning. Lori then went to Burger King to get food for JJ, Walgreens to get flip-flops for her and Tylee, and finally returned home at 8:48. Alex Cox would not call 911 until 8:32 to report the shooting. So Charles dies, and she goes to Burger King. Well, food for JJ. Okay, at least she did that. But then stops to buy flip-flops for her and Tylee. That she just needed to spend some time away from the home, and that was what she did. Alex called 911 at 8:32 to report the shooting. When reporting the incident, Alex indicated that it had just happened. He was provided with CPR instructions and acted as if he was performing life-saving measures on Charles. It was not until emergency personnel began life-saving measures that they saw blood coming from Charles's body. This would indicate that Alex performed no emergency aid. Big surprise there. Based on this timeline, Charles would have laid dead or dying for approximately 43 minutes before Alex called 911. That's new. I hadn't heard that. During this time, phone records indicated that Alex called Lori. Lori, Tylee, and Alex told investigators about a physical altercation that was started by Charles. During this altercation, Lori left the residence with Tylee and JJ. As they were leaving, Tylee and Lori reported hearing a gunshot. Based on this investigation, it has been proven how valuable that Alex Cox was to Lori. His mission on this earth was to protect his sister. The shot into Charles's body as he laid on the floor and the delay in calling 911 would also validate their desire for him to die. In addition, Lori told police Alex was asked to stay at her house to protect her from Charles when he arrived on July 11th. Alex denied this and stated that he stayed at the house because they were going to go to a water park or go shooting on July 11th. As part of the investigation, Alex performed a walkthrough for investigators. Alex indicated that Charles was coming at him. He shot him twice in the chest while Charles was standing. Trajectory at autopsy discovered that one of these shots would be consistent with the statement. The shot would have gone through Charles and ended up in the baseboard. However, the second shot entered below Charles's ribcage and exited through his upper left shoulder, causing a shored wound and defect in the flooring where Charles was found. This angle would indicate that Charles was already laying on the floor when his second shot was fired. Oh my God. After the murder of Charles Vallow, additional text messages and emails were located that would indicate the murder was intentional and according to a master plan. One of these was a text message sent to Lori from Chad Daybell. The message read, "I got the inspiration to go back to my original death percentages that helped us track Charles, Ned, etc. Tammy is very close. Her percentage has fallen steadily since Hiplos left. It is encouraging." Oh my God. Messages on someone's phone would also show the intentionality of the murder of Charles Vallow. On July 11th, someone to Lori. As I was working on Hiplos today in the temple, I was told he will be taken as he is. I don't know what that means. Then I was shown only put light, the brightest light, from the top and the bottom at the same time, meeting in the middle. So I've been doing that all day. Huh. July 12th, someone to someone, oh, okay. Hiplos is gone. It was a Nephi and Laban ending. I will tell you more when I see you in person or when you see Lori in person. I'm leaving for Chile on Monday for 2 weeks. Blank to Julie, right? To Julie? Could it be Julie Rowe? Oh, I'm just happy it's over. According to Mormon doctrine, Nephi is a prophet in the Book of Mormon and is commanded by his father Lehi to return to Jerusalem to attain brass plates that contain genealogy records from Laban. Nephi and his two brothers, Laman and Lemuel, return to Jerusalem. When Laman attempts to get the plates from Laban, he is chased off in fear of his life, as Laban says he will slay him. They later return to Laban with all of their valuables and are chased off again. Nephi later goes to Laban's house and finds him passed out drunk. Nephi is commanded to slay Laban as he was delivered into Nephi's hands. Nephi uses Laban's sword to kill Laban. The story can be found in the Book of Mormon, 1 Nephi, chapters 3-4. Through interviews conducted with someone, the belief system regarding dark spirits and zombies was revealed. Both witnesses were in direct communication with Lori Vallow and Chad Daybell and were being provided instructions regarding their missions to prepare for the second coming of Christ. Both indicated that they were told long before July 11th that Charles had died. His body was taken over by an evil spirit. Both witnesses gathered with Lori Vallow prior to July 11th to try and pray the spirits out of his body so Charles' spirit would no longer be in limbo. Redacted. We've got to figure out who those two people are. When Lori found out about Charles and someone were coming to town, she believed that they were going to kill her for her life insurance money. On July 9th, Lori reached out to someone for help. Lori told someone in a text message that she needed to speak with her ASAP. Someone replied, and Lori indicated that she was on the phone trying to figure out what to do. Redacted. Lori then asked for the assistance of someone, and Alex Cox to stand by her side for protection. This was when Lori made the comment about being told she was going to be like Nephi. Redacted. Blank and blank have both included that Lori got her advice and direction from Chad Daybell. When giving instructions, someone stated that Lori would always say, I have been told. Messages identified have indicated that Chad Daybell was aware of the work with zombies, specifically the work that someone and Lori were doing on Charles prior to July 11. Based on the above synopsis and a myriad of other facts gathered in this case, it is recommended that Lori Vallow be charged with conspiracy to commit murder for the death of her husband, Charles Vallow. That is the end. I am so mad. I am so mad. Oh.
Who went to Chile?
Zulema?
Okay. Do you think they were...
I don't know. Maybe. That's a guess.
Do you think they meant to redact Julie's name out of that and they just missed it?
Yep. I think they missed it.
I bet you they were scrolling through a document with the search function and typed in her last name, and it's not in that one little sentence, and they missed it.
But well, do you know what this means?
You be a little more involved.
Julie Rowe, Zulema, Chad, Alex, Lori, Melanie Gibb, all of these people are involved with Charles's death. All of them knew it was going to come. None of them did anything. According to this statement from the grand jury, all of these people. Oh, yeah. Do I want to talk to Julie Rowe now? How about you, Kresha? Oh, my God.
I bet she's going to have a live stream today.
This is so much worse than what I thought. I knew that Charles was murdered. We all knew that. But I thought it was just Alex and Lori and maybe Melanie Gibb. But now there's more. And there's also two other people I haven't figured out. Yep, Janice and Summer got K. You're right. The two people that talk about, I have to read that and figure out who those two people are that talk about the belief system and all that.
I would have thought, will you come meet me at the temple? You know who I think that is.
Who?
Mal.
Mason Cow?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness. So
Not all these people even have temple recommends, correct? I think it would be kind of easy to narrow that down, in my opinion.
So this is why I've been screaming for a year about this cultic group. They're all involved.
Put this right in my head. The kids were there with Lori and Alex. I wondered if Lori was in the house when he was shot. I've questioned that quite a few times. But Lori left with the kids before he was shot, correct? So Tylee wouldn't have known. But they went and bought flip flops.
Oh my
I mean,
goodness.
is that what that says? They went and
It
bought
is.
flip flops?
Lori left the house with JJ and Tylee, stopped at Burger King to get JJ some food, dropped JJ off at school, and went to Walgreens to buy flip-flops, and then got back to the house. But by the time Alex had called 911, Charles had already been dead for 45 minutes, 43 minutes.
So at what point, I wonder, do they
We
tell
don't know who shot
Tylee?
him.
Right, but I wonder at what point do they tell Tylee he's dead? She didn't find out when the police got there because she's
She already knew, right?
So are they walking through the aisle of Walgreens? Like, what size flip flop do you need? You want pink ones or purple ones? Oh yeah, he's dead now. We gotta go home.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, how does that happen?
Oh my God.
I can't. And I'm not saying that like Tylee did something wrong. I'm saying as a mother, I can't. I'm not like, how does that scenario play out? And you have to tell your kid.
Yep.
That somebody died. Like, at what point did that happen?
Pops Coates has a great point in chat. Summer Shiflet. Remember the motion to disqualify Rob Wood, her conversation with Rob Wood. We need to go back and revisit that. Absolutely revisit that.
Well,
Absolutely.
now we know why they didn't want her to testify.
Uh-huh.
Major. Now
and
we
Emily
know
says,
why they didn't
this is getting deeper and deeper. It is getting deeper and deeper. This makes things so much worse than what we knew yesterday.
I feel vindicated, though.
Yeah, me too.
For all the people that say, I don't know why they're so on, Melanie's tail. Look at all of them. This isn't even the only reason they're using any religious words in this is to cover up what they're saying. These are not religious people.
Mm-mm.
This is just downright evil in every respect of the word. And to get out here and still be hawking the same crap, acting like they're super spiritual people. You think the people that did this right here defending God, you go give her some money so she can buy some more rainbow twirlers.
Yep.
Get off of it, Julie.
Yep.
Get off of it. You ought to be ashamed of yourself.
Yep. We're going to reread that much more slowly and try to figure out where Julie Rose's name was redacted, because obviously she's part of that text conversation about Charles's death. So it's Mad Jack. It's organized murder. It is. There are a lot of people who were involved in the murder of Charles. And then you have to think, well, what did they know about JJ? What did they know about Tylee? Yeah. What did they know about Tammy or Alex? And even Joseph Ryan. How many of these people were involved with Lori at the time Joseph Ryan died? More than I think we have been told.
What about Julie getting out here saying she's got visions that Tylee and JJ are happy and warm? And did she already know?
Well, she tried to justify that in her live stream, saying, that could have been spirit realm. I didn't realize that was spirit realm. They were happy and on the beach in spirit realm. I didn't know. It's like, you quit it with your bullshit.
Right there next to the rest of these yahoos.
You might get an interview with Rob Wood, yeah, and some detectives, but you're not going to get it with
Sabina in that one.
Yep.
And as much as she claims that she was such good friends with Tammy, what are Tammy's kids thinking right now?
Oh,
did Julie know about Tammy before Tammy died?
Lisa Irwin says, even the bishop knew. We don't know what Bishop Gabe Benilla knew about all of this, but he's somehow connected with Jason Mao, Melanie Gibb, Lori and Chad. He certainly was not on Charles's side.
He certainly didn't help the situation at all.
Yep.
Charles came to him in a spiritual thing, wanting help, and he was just as bad as everybody else as far as dismissing him and letting this be followed through. Yeah. I'm so mad right now. I can't put words together.
Crusher says, thanks for reading this to all of us. I haven't been able to digest it yet. Yeah, I need to reread this several times. There's a lot of information here. I don't think we've gotten all the information out of it yet. We need to reread it really slowly, line by line. But there's a lot of people involved in this. There's a lot of information in this document, and it looks so. I'm beside myself. I am so angry.
And the people who wiped their brow because they didn't make it in the Lifetime movie you're in this one. This one's
Yep.
going to get you. I think if we're right about who they're talking about at the temple, his name
Yep.
has finally not been left out for some weird reason.
Yep. I can't reread it
Finally.
now, Hannah, because that would take another half hour. But I'm going to download all the documents. I'm going to put them up in Discord. We can all tear through them together, line by line. Let's
can't
rip it
either.
apart. Let's get everything out of it we can. And then we'll come and talk about it again when we've digested all that's in there. There's a lot. There's a lot in that. And man, there are a lot more names. You know, I've been gunning for Melanie Gibb for a year. I'm adding quite a few names to that list now. Quite a few. And
thank you, whoever didn't redact Julie's dang name out of that.
yep.
Thank you for missing that one.
Mm-hmm.
Krisha, I'm so sorry. I don't have a clue in the world what it would feel like to have to hear this. Well, I mean, I know you told Evelyn she could read it. I can't imagine try to process this. I can't.
For everyone in chat,
about you and your family,
Krisha,
so
Charles Vallow is Krisha's uncle. So that's why I wanted to make sure she was okay with me reading this for the first time. There's family that are reading the document and being like, what? You know, there are some dang problems.
Well, think about Chad's kids right now. Anybody that was sitting on his side of the aisle at the court hearing is now reading this. It's probably got a few questions.
Yep. Mad Jackman brings up a point. Remember that tweet that Mark Means had about rats leaving a sinking ship? And we were so mad about that tweet. You know what? Is that not right?
He shouldn't have said it, but yeah.
He should not have. It was unethical of him to say it. But he dang well had a point, especially after reading this nonsense. Oh, my goodness.
Anybody, you know, they don't have to tell us that they have an immunity agreement. We found out about Zulema's on accident. I don't know who's got an agreement and who doesn't, but they get found out that they're lying about it. It's gone. It's gone.
Yep. And like Brennan Chip says, if the police knew all of this info, why was Alex and Lori never arrested before Alex died? That's a good question because we don't know when. I don't think they knew all of this. They say that they started an investigation. They say a few weeks later we learned this, and that. It should have been stopped right then. It should have been stopped the day Charles died. It should have been stopped long before Charles died. But even that day, he was a felon. Alex Cox was a convicted felon. He attacked Joseph Ryan with a taser. He was charged for that. He should not have had that weapon. But why did they not hold him? Why did they not really question these people? They did not do a homicide investigation that day. They let them go and said, oh, it's self-defense. You know,
I really want to know why he got away with pulling that crap with the taser. That was supposed to be at a supervised visit.
Yeah,
there's supposed to be police there. How did he even get away with that crap? You know,
I can't imagine. I mean, he didn't get away with it technically. He was arrested and go to jail, but
there are procedures put in place where they should not have crossed paths.
Right. And like Cressa said, why did they not do a plethora of things? There's so many things that should have been done that weren't. And the more I read of this document,
party, I don't know anymore.
Yeah. The more I'm thinking about what we just read, the angrier I'm getting. Because they're the way it's worded is like, oh, well, you know, it's been a long investigation, but no, it wasn't a long investigation. It became a bigger investigation after all this came to light about Chad and Lori and the kids. That's when you said, oh,
I've seen longer wakes.
Look at this.
I mean, let's be real honest. I've seen the longer wakes than this guy got investigated.
Yeah.
And this is why it's not okay to treat them with kid gloves and act like, oh, they didn't have anything to do with it. They're not hurting anybody. So what if they believe crazy stuff? Because crazy stuff in public is this in private.
Mm-hmm.
They don't believe a word that they're saying. If that doesn't prove it, the way they're talking about it, they don't believe a word that they're putting out there.
Yep. Now, I do have that call from Melanie Gibb that I privated. I might turn that public again so we can listen to it, where she talks about they planned for months and months of how to get rid of Charles and her being there. She said that Lori was doing these terrible things to Charles, not her, even though Zach turned around and said, well, Melanie was there. It's like, wait, what? She didn't mention that.
At
You
this
know?
point, I think you
Mm.
should release the whole dang thing, except for what we talked about,
Yeah.
the ending. I think you should release the whole dang thing, in my opinion.
We'll see. We'll see if it
Now
gets to
that
that. But
now that this is out, it's not hearsay. It's not a fake recording. It's got some bones to it, I guess, in some people's mind.
yeah.
You'll get grief for it either way. But
Yeah.
I'm
But let's
telling
be
you,
happy that
yeah.
Jeff Rowe, Dee Dee says, good on you, Jeff Rowe. Protect your children now. Yeah. Thankfully, he got away from Julie Rowe before he ended up like these other spouses. So, my goodness. And Brandon Boudreaux, I am so grateful that that man is still alive.
He earned every
You
dang
know?
penny of that settlement he got
Yes,
from
he
old
did.
what's his
Yes, he
face.
did. How
It's
close he came to being another one of these dead spouses.
and all of his kids.
Mm-hmm.
You better watch it, Melanie. You're liable to lose that new one you just had. Oh, this is not looking good. This is not looking good.
Yeah. My goodness. So
I can't believe.
my mind. I'm mind blown right now reading that.
Of all the things that we thought maybe won't come out, people that might get away with it just because we suspect things but don't know the facts about it, just people we think.
Mm-hmm.
Finally.
Yep. Kresha says Brandon was the original whistleblower, y'all. Yep.
No,
yep. Thanks to Brandon. And even Natalie Pulowski, Ian Pulowski's ex-wife, she has done amazing work to bring all of this to the forefront. So Natalie Pulowski, Brandon Boudreaux, we are very grateful for you. We're so happy that you got out of this alive because, that's considered lucky now looking at all this stuff. I'm grateful that you are both okay and you both come forward, and they didn't succeed.
Thank God. I mean, there are so many times that Brandon has whatever, I don't even talk about it. Whenever, he wouldn't identify them, that was a big deal.
Yep.
Kids.
My goodness. So yeah, there's a lot to unpack.
Because there was so much here. Think about if they had just investigated this crap. If they blew off Charles, even if they had just investigated his death, nothing before that, how many people would still be alive?
Yep. If they had looked at their phone records right after Charles was shot, the kids and Tammy and Alex would still be alive. Not that Alex may be a good thing, but the kids and Tammy would still be alive at least. So
it's so sad.
Cat Stallworth asked
that there's that much evidence. It's sad that there's that much evidence, and that just, I didn't want to do paperwork. She was too pretty to investigate. Whatever went through their brain that day.
Yep.
These kids would still be alive,
Kat Stallsworth asked, which name surprises you the most, Eamon and Jess? To me, it was the stuff about Janice and the stuff about Julie Rowe, her name. What about you?
Yeah. Well, if I'm right, the person they're referring to going to the temple, I think, is our favorite guy who is always left out of everything suspiciously. I hope that's who that is. I hope he's finally looked at for what he is, because he is dangerous. But Julie being in there, I mean, I've said all the time she has wanted to be so involved in a murder case.
Well, now she is.
Might just got what you wanted, Julie.
She might have just gotten her wish.
Got it.
Yep.
And there will be a long list of people that will only be able to visit you in jail. They will be checked. Nobody will be coming in there seeing you that you don't want on the list. Promise.
Yep. So I know we like to pick on the blue-eyed angel boy, but look over Melanie Gibb subpoena. Look at that list of names. There's a reason they're on there. Let's look into that. Let's go down the list of every single one of those names and see, because obviously there is more that we haven't even heard yet. If this stuff is in that grand jury paper, there's a lot more that we haven't even heard yet. So,
I'd love to know who testified. I can't even. In my opinion, more has come out of that than's come out of Idaho.
Yeah, me too. I agree.
Well, let's hope they pull some more BS, and maybe we'll actually get some dang evidence and make sure it's seen in Idaho. I'm not saying that they don't have it. I don't know. I'm just saying the chances of everybody getting rounded up that needs to be, it's a good thing 2 different states have got their eyeballs on it.
Yep.
The person they're talking about not going to the wedding in Utah is Melanie Pulowski, right?
I'm not sure if that's Melanie Pulowski or Gibb. I have to reread that a few times and check it against our timeline and see what wedding that was, who was supposed to be going.
I don't think Lori would protect Melanie Gibb like that.
I don't know.
I think she would protect.
But remember, Melanie Gibb was staying at the house with Lori.
I think she is one of the names that's redacted about. She's tired. I think, and she said she needs these people to watch over her. I think it's Alex, Melanie Gibb, and maybe Melanie Pulowski because she doesn't want her to go to that wedding in Utah, in my opinion. They don't want her back in Utah because Braden had been shot at.
Right.
That's why they didn't want Melanie up there. In my opinion, I think that's who those 3 names are.
When did Colby get married? I don't remember exactly when they got married. I'll have to go back and check the records.
Good grief. I can't
didn't even consider
reading this today.
Oh, yeah. Goodness.
Thank God he's moved. Thank God.
You know, that at one point, Colby and Kelsey were staying with Lori. Lori did not like Kelsey at all. She thought she was a dark spirit, all that nonsense. Good thing that she came out of this alive as well.
I feel so bad. I feel bad for Larry and Kay and Krisha and Colby and Tammy's kids and, everybody. This has got to be, I guess in my brain, it's one thing if you think, okay, these were some religious, fundamental, zealot, culty nuts, like however you want to label it. But then to see this in their own words and realize that they don't even believe the crap that they hawked. And these people died, not even for a religious belief. Would have to be devastating. Infuriating. I don't even know what the word is for that. But I don't even know how to put that in the right words. But to see them call it for what it is says a lot about what they actually believe and what they're still trying to sell to people. I can't. I'm so mad. So mad.
Brendan says, after reading this, what is your opinion about how Alex Cox died? I think murder or suicide.
Murdered. I don't
murder
think
or suicide
himself.
With a emphasis on murder. I don't think Alex would have killed himself.
I think I think that's I could see both sides of it. People said maybe he killed himself, but the one line where the police officer redacted the thing in the other probable cause affidavit where it said whatever was seen when law enforcement showed up and they knew it was a crime scene tells me it was not even looked like a suicide.
Yep.
In my opinion, obviously it's redacted. I have no idea what it was.
Yep. Yeah, and Idahoan Motorboating says that's why Melanie gave a phone call to Lori and Chad. Lori tells Melanie that she'll pay for her sins too. Yep. And that's what it's all about. There were obviously now we know a lot of people knew Charles was about to be murdered. A lot of people need to be in a courtroom answering for that. A lot of people. Everyone.
Lifetime, y'all might have wanted to hold on to that dang movie for a week. Lori don't look so innocent, does she?
Yep. Man.
What a waste. I mean, just the thought that's what pisses me off, I guess, that people would waste so much of their life and ruin so many other people over crap that they don't even believe in.
Yep.
That's what gets me. Like, I don't get it. It's one thing if you, honest to God, even if it's something crazy, but if you, honest to God, believe something enough to do something in your life, do something, become a priest, become a nun, whatever it is. But this is just absolute destruction in the name of religion, and you don't even believe it? That's so wrong. That's evil.
Like Krisha says, just divorce and get a damn job. That would have been the easy route, but no. These people thought they were special.
Write some more stupid books. I mean, good grief. If Cheryl Cale, what is her name? the Chris
Cheryl and
Watts
Cadle,
author.
yeah.
Hell, if she can go Google something and copy and
Heck,
paste, you can too. I mean, go
Melanie
on.
Gibb can write a book. Any of us can. So, yeah. But Sam Costa says all of them are co-conspirators. Yeah, Sam, I was thinking Melanie Gibb certainly needed a co-conspiracy charge. But looking at this today, there's a lot more than Melanie Gibb. A lot of them. And I am just beside myself with this information.
This is one thing you don't want to be right about. You know? I guess that's probably what makes me so mad. So one thing you don't want to be right about. You don't want to think that there are this many people out there that are so dang evil that they can do this to people. And children, no less. But they do. And they are. And they haven't even been interviewed, some of them.
Mm-hmm.
And are making money off of this. They're still doing the circuits, doing the conferences. Julie will talk to any dang person that will talk to her. Give that woman a parrot. I'm not even kidding.
But remember, when you're looking at these culty people, all the preparing of people, the creeples, as we call them, remember this document. All right. Next time you're watching Julie Rowe crying all over her YouTube, remember she had something to do or prior knowledge with Charles's death. It's in this grand jury document. Her name is there. There's no other Julie that we have ever heard connected to this case but Julie Rowe. All right. Sean Littlebear. I didn't really know Chad. Baloney. Michael and Nancy James, Christopher Pear, all of these people saying, I didn't really know them. We were deceived. Bullshit. I'm calling bullshit right now.
One more person that tells me Melanie Gibb was brainwashed, I'm going to scream. There ain't a damn one of these people that was brainwashed. Not a one of them.
Yep.
They don't even believe it.
Mm-hmm. That's right. Charles did not die in vain. I will be screaming about this murder until every single person who knew it was going to happen and let it happen is charged with something. Something. I don't want to see any immunity deals. I don't want to see anything. I want all of these people who let Charles die. And therefore, by letting that happen to Charles, they let it happen to JJ and Tylee and Tammy. That's it. There are too many deaths in this case for those people to just get sweetheart immunity deals.
Who even knows if that's all the people that have died? I mean, when you start breaking out the circle, everybody that's involved here, how many weird deaths are on there around them? We don't even know.
We don't know.
Even know.
We don't. What if there are more?
All the people. What? I can't even. All the people that have given us such grief about, oh, you guys are just too hard on Melanie Gibb. She was just brainwashed and gullible. Does that sound gullible to you?
No, it does not. And the fact that all of them people, they're all still out there promoting this baloney extremist garbage, that has to stop. We have to shed light on it. We have to jump up and down and say, this is not okay. They all need to be excommunicated publicly. They all need to be torn down publicly. This crap has to stop before we have a whole nother family that's killed. Think about it. The day that Charles was killed, this is something that Larry said to me that really stuck out to me. Remember, the day that Charles was killed, Alex, JJ, Tylee, and Lori were in that house, right? They're all dead except for Lori. That's not a freaking coincidence. Okay? Too many people have died because of these crazy religious beliefs. It's got to stop. I'm not going to promote Preparing a People or Book of Mormon Evidence or the Firm Foundation or these crazy people or Julie Rowe or Sean Littlebear or Jason Mao, any of them.
Yeah.
They're the reason all of this crap happened because they bolstered these beliefs. They fed them. They encouraged them. They let it happen. What if they're not done? Kresha, that's a big, big, big question. That's what haunts me in some ways, but I can't sit here and be quiet. Exactly. I'll wear a target by standing up for my family. Yep. And we'll be your shields.
I wonder, with them releasing this today, things could get ugly.
Yep.
If they're not watching some of these people. But this is prime reason why Melanie Gibb doesn't want to comply with that subpoena.
Yep.
Because, if you didn't have anything to hide and if this big long list of people didn't have anything to do with it, Why wouldn't you turn it over? If you really cared about justice, and that's why you're testifying at preliminary trials and giving all of these interviews to Nate Eaton because for justice and somebody needs to speak for the kids, hand it over, Melanie. Hand it over.
Yep.
Because you know it's coming. It's coming.
Shy Meadow says they need to take down the whole dang cult and the church needs to get involved at this point. You know what? I agree with you. I think the church needs to come out and say, you know what? We have let these people do their extremist baloney for so long. It stops now. We're done. You go out and you preach a non-doctrinal stuff and say it's Mormon stuff. We're going to come down on you. Knock it off. People are dying. Quit your shit. Quit your shit. You know?
Quit giving it money. You know?
Yep.
There's a lot of money. I mean, the one is a Book of Mormon evidence or whatever that Glenn Beck is on that one.
Yeah.
Like Glenn Beck has a crap ton of money. He goes around and does this. It's the same dang group.
Yep.
Tell me that's not dangerous.
Oh, no, I've been holding back.
For
the last year, I've been talking about these culty people, and I have cases on all of them. I've been holding back on making it public because, you know, it's just let's wait and see what comes out. But now this tells me at least a few of those need to be released. So I think it's time to do some videos on some of these culty people. Tell you what I know. A lot of you know the same stuff because it's all publicly available information. Just collated into a little file on Jason Mao. Maybe it's time to put out the Jason Mao file, the Summer Shiflett file, the Sean Little Bear file, the Julie Rowe file, all of this stuff, because clearly there's more involvement than we saw before. And I'm so mad right now.
I think if everything comes out, not from you, but like in the trial, if everything is laid out, I think people are going to be surprised in who else's hand is involved. It's not just, in my opinion, I don't think it was just Alex that did a lot of this stuff.
No, I don't think so.
I don't believe that at all. I know everybody's like, well, what if Alex killed everybody? Or, you know, people ask all the time, can Lori and Chad walk if Alex did it all? I'm going to be absolutely shocked if Alex did it all.
Yep. Yeah, someone in chat says, tear the roof off. That's what I'm feeling right now. I am so pissed off reading this document. And every minute I'm sitting here, I'm getting angrier and angrier. I think it's time to blow the lid off this cult. It is. And they may get mad at me, but tough crap. It's all public information that you've said yourself. So bite me, you culty.
Come on, Melanie. I absolutely think you should cut the end part of that phone call off and post the whole damn thing and just see what happens. Just let it go. Yep. I'm sick of hearing people say she was brainwashed and it's just not right and bull.
Yep. And for everyone here, please sub to Kresha's channel. She has put a lot of this stuff out. She calls it difficult research. Very clever, very, very true. It is difficult, and it's a difficult. So sub to Kresha. She's got a lot of the information there. Certainly about the bigger stuff that haven't even looked at yet. More about the Operation Underground Railroad, Tim Ballard, Michelle, whatever her crazy name is, I can't even remember. Go sub to Kresha and get all of that info there. I'm going to start working on my files and being like, you know what? Here's everything I know about Sean Little Bear. You all think he's so wonderful, drumming Indian man. No, he's not. He's not. And man, Janice, ooh, that is one thing that's making my teeth hurt. Janice Cox.
You know what makes me so mad about her when she made that comment that no one was invited to Alex's funeral who thought he was a murderer. And I'm like, he killed Charles Vallow. Everybody knows he's a murderer. Like
Michelle McDermott, thank you. Yes, that's the name. Yeah.
Kresha, I'm thinking about you guys. And I hope there's nothing I said that, you know, in being mad that would upset any of you guys. I don't think I did, but if I did, y'all know I didn't mean it.
Yeah.
I don't need any
something on Justin's Twitter. Let me go check this. What? This would be good. Hold on. Let me check. Where does it say this? All right. Oh, this is good. Here we go. I'm going to share my screen. Thank you for that tip because I haven't been refreshing Twitter.
I wonder, do you think they knew this was going to be dropped today, the lawyers? You think Fryer and Means knew this was going to come out today?
No, I don't.
I don't either.
All right, let me read to you what this says. I just broke all my tabs apart. Help. I've got problems. All right, this says blank and blank. Oh, wait, did I say this? Yeah, based on the synopsis and myriad of other facts, it is recommended that Lori Vallow be charged. Oh, that's not what I'm looking for. Hold on. Let me find my thing. Someone said that Justin said they're recommending that Chad be charged too. Let me find where Justin says
I hope
that.
there's a long list of people besides Chad, because a lot of people was talking in that document. So wait, there's more. Yeah.
All right, therefore, all right, detectives say Lori Vallow got her advice from Daybell and was aware of the work with zombies Lori was doing on Charles prior to July 11th. Therefore, recommending the charge of conspiracy to commit murder in the death of Charles Vallow. That's not about Lori. I'm not seeing where Justin is saying they recommended charges for Chad too. I hope they did. I certainly think they should. So we'll have to keep watching. But
will the same thing happen if they indict Chad? Since he doesn't have a stay on his case, can they?
I don't know, because with the appearances that have to happen, they may just wait until Idaho wraps up, like we saw with Weinstein. Stephen Shem asks, what happened today? Stephen, the hearing was vacated this morning for a reason that's not related to the case. They will reschedule when they reschedule. We'll do it, but they did not have the hearing today. In the meantime, though, Justin Lum got a hold of the grand jury information from Arizona, and we read through that. Go ahead and rewind the video and rewatch that, because there is some stuff in there you do not want to miss. We're going to tear it apart. I'll make more specific videos on it. The documents, they are up on Justin Lum's Twitter and his Facebook. I'll put them up in Discord, and we'll do videos on them, because there's a lot to unpack in this document. And man, I am mad. And that's it. We're taking this cult down. That's it. That's our job. We're getting rid of this cult.
It's such if there was ever a time to have righteous anger, it's here.
It is.
It's here.
It is. Yep. I agree. Allie Brewer says Chad should be charged for Charles along with Melanie Gibb and others.
And others, according to that document.
And according to that, Zulema. I don't want to see some use immunity agreement. Nail her. Arrest her. Charge her. Come on. That's enough. That's enough of this crap.
Don't play the grieving widow on a body cam.
Yep. Yep.
I've never bought her story about, oh, he was so sick. I tried to tell him to go to the emergency room. But then that day I decided to go to work, and I asked him if he would run around town and pick up stuff and make a holiday basket. Yeah, that makes a ton of sense, Zulema.
All right, so I'm going to work on, I'm probably going to start with Zulema, because I'm most angry thinking she might have that use immunity. Now remember, that's never been verified by the state. That was only stated by Garrett Smith. He could be totally full of shit. We don't know. So, but we can assume he wouldn't say that if it wasn't true. But
I don't know.
I didn't want to hear about that crap. Yeah, that's true. It is Garrett Smith.
He just lost the lawsuit to Brandon. For
defamation,
so I wouldn't exactly say he's a great lawyer at this point. So
the offshoots. Yep, Dee Dee. That's what we need to do. I'm going to focus now on this cult group, and they need to be stopped.
It's like the dang mob. I mean, really, it's like the mob, but they pretend to be a religious
mafia. It's the religious mafia.
But they're not really religious. That's what pisses me off so bad. They don't even believe it. Nope. It's the same thing that the mob would do. Yep. They're fighting over territory. Somebody wants to sleep with somebody else, so other people have to kick the bucket, to get out of the way. Oh, well, I don't like you.
Yeah, Steffi, the use immunity, it's not verified. The only person that has ever said that is Garrett Smith, so we don't know. The state has never come out and said, yeah, she does. They never verified that, so it's possible she doesn't. But Garrett Smith said so maybe she does or not. But you know what? Let's look at Zulema. Let's go back and rewatch those body cam footages. Let's read all the documents. We have the entire file of the documents of Alex's death up in Discord. Let's tear through all that stuff now. Let's tear Zulema's story apart, because clearly there's a lot more than she said, and I'm angry.
What a crazy day. I'm glad we went live, even though the thing got canceled, because y'all probably wouldn't have heard the document for a while. I'd say a lot of people are really looking at it now, but
Yep.
oh, I'd be so mad if I hadn't read that by myself. I mean, I'm still mad anyway, but my goodness.
All right, so I've got a lot of work to do now. I'm going to go redirect our research group, and we're going to focus on this cult and all these people, and let's take everything we've learned and let's just put it out there. Maybe people don't understand the involvement that these people had in all of these deaths. So,
well, I think the wool just got pulled off of a lot of people's eyes about Melanie Gibb.
Definitely.
They're just brainwashed.
Yep.
No. Tonight, you want to talk about tonight?
Tonight at 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern, we have our Patreon and channel members live stream. We're going to be talking about narcissistic rage, and we're going to be talking about it even as it relates to this case, because we're seeing some of that. Yeah, but narcissistic rage is going to be a tough topic. If you've ever experienced the rage of a narcissist, you're going to want to tune in. We're going to talk about what it's like and how to get past it, because, boy, it can be nasty. Nasty, nasty. So that's going to be our topic for tonight. And we have Hearsay Live with you. When are we doing that? Saturday?
Oh, we're going to do that Saturday. I don't want to do it Sunday because it's 4th of July. We're going to do that Saturday.
Yeah.
We'll figure out time and I'll schedule it. Probably not as early as we did last week. Maybe 6-ish. 6:30, somewhere under there.
Yeah.
Just so everybody's dinner and all that kind of stuff is done.
Yeah.
So, Saturday.
But yeah, join us in Discord if you want to take part in this. We need to. I'm convinced now the only right thing to do is to take this cult down. So let's do it. I am sick of these people. Sick of it. So that's the best thing we can do for Charles, Charles, JJ, Tylee, and Tammy is stop these people from ever hurting anyone else again.
And just so that it's said, by taking the cult down, we do not mean go harass these people in their real life, in public. Don't be do anything stupid.
Nope.
Everything Awen does is, we've been seeing a lot of crazy in the true crime groups, people stalking people and harassing people and everything else. So don't do that. That's not what we mean. Yeah,
the Summer Wells. Jess and I are following the Summer Wells case. If you're interested in that, go check out Jess's channel. All of that is over there. But what's happened with that case is people going real life, from talking about it in a Facebook group to stalking these people.
And the kids.
Not okay.
We're not doing what bothers me. Those poor kids are being harassed out in public, not even with their parents. And I think that's horrible. Another one's Cash Gernon. People went nuts trying to act like Monica had something to do with Cash dying. So when I her and stuff, that's not okay.
When I say take the cult down, what I mean is we're going to expose all of this nonsense. We're going to put all of their own stuff, their own words, their own comments, and everything we know from the case. And we're going to put it in videos that you can digest easily and say, look this is why it has to stop. This is what they're saying. All right. And a vow. That forum, that group, they're doing it. They're still doing it. We're going to talk about a vow. We're talking about all the things that I've deemed kind of off limits, But
well, I mean, look how they spoke about these people before they died. You want them out there working with trafficked children?
No,
really?
We do not.
No.
Yep.
Anyway,
we do not.
That's just that runs all over me.
Yes, we will not be going after. Do not contact any of these people. Don't do it. Just don't do it. We'll talk about what we know about them. We'll talk about all that stuff. But we do not need to go talking to any of these people. Don't talk to Julie. Don't talk to Sean. Don't talk to Melanie. Don't talk to any of them. That's what the prosecution is for. We're just going to be like, here's everything we know about them. So let's do it because, and like what Kat said up here.
Yeah.
Janice's comment about talking to JJ after October 1st. That's what gets me.
Isn't so innocent anymore, is it?
It is not. It is not innocent. So leave all of those people alone. Let's just talk about it here. Let's get all of our information nice and neatly packed and tidy. And let's see what we can do. All right. So we got a lot to do today. We are still watching Summer Wells. We're still trying to wait and see if they can find her, hopefully alive. But if you want the Summer Wells coverage, go to Jess's channel. Please give her a sub.
If you're looking for the rumors on Summer Wells' case, don't come to my channel. You ain't gonna find them.
Yeah.
And if you want to see you want a video to watch. If you guys did not watch the behavior panel talk about Summer Wells' parents last night, go check that out. It was so good, guys. It was good. But thanks for everybody that subbed. I'm like this far away from my 1,000. I'm going to do a big giveaway.
Yeah, let's see if we can get Jess to 1,000. She's almost there. So if you haven't subbed to Jess yet, please go give her a sub over there. Yeah. And yeah, I'm going to get to work. If you guys want to join us in Discord, the mod's been putting up the links. Salty Idaho just has one. Just scroll up a little bit. Join us over there. That's where we're dumping all the info. And let's tear this stuff apart. I'm going to go post the new documents today. So we can start reading through them more closely. That's what we got to do. So we got work to do. Let's go do this.
We're thinking about you, Kresha, you and your sweet family and all the other victims' families. So I'm sorry. Yep. I know this is rough. I'm sorry.
Sub to Kresha, sub to Jess. Let's work together. Let's make sure that none of these people died in vain and the things that led up to their deaths are eliminated. Yep. Let's stop it. So. Yep. Yeah. All right. We're out of here. Thank you all for being here. Thank you all for the support, the super chats, the new members. And we'll see you tonight at 7 p.m. right here for Narcissism Fun Stuff.
Yeah. Sounds good.
I lost my StreamYard tab. I can't stop the live stream.
Well, I can't either, but
I messed up my Google. We may be here forever.
It might be.
I'm going to choke to death. All right. There it is. Okay.
Choke to death.
Thanks, everyone. We'll talk to you soon.
Bye, guys. Bye.